DN. Letty's making sure that I don't crash this thing into the lake for a couple of minutes. Nick Brunswick's joining us as always. I'm Doug Russell, Dave Gasper. We will check in with Dave coming up at about 11:35 or so. He is at the winter meetings in Orlando. What is he doing at the winter meetings in Orlando? I don't know.
Stay tuned to find out.
Stay tuned to find out. A massive weekend for Wisconsin Badgers athletics. Even though there were no championships that were involved, Nick, what an incredible weekend. Men's basketball, women's basketball pulling off a huge upset against number 20 Michigan State yesterday. You've got women's hockey on the road sweeping number 2 Ohio State. The men's hockey team with a dominating sweep at Notre Dame over the weekend. It was just one thing after another after another. Oh, by the way, the Packers beat the Bears 28-21 as they look dominant in phases. The defense in the first half. Keyshawn Nixon with the last play of really the game besides the kneel down. But they did look dominant in other phases. Josh Jacobs looked great. Christian Watson looked great. Jordan Love, outside of one really bad pass,
right,
which was baffling, looked pretty damn good as well. And I was talking to Caitlin Sharkey after the game, who, of course, game fans and Wisconsin sports fans know from her time at WITI in Milwaukee or at WFRV in Green Bay. She now works at WGN in Chicago, and was talking to her after the game. And she'll probably be our eye on the enemy in a couple of weeks. I know she was on with Drew and KB last week as well. But so I asked, what's the temperature of those guys in that other room? Because she had just gotten done with her locker room. I had just gotten done with Packers locker room. Said, you know what, they're okay. They know they're a good team, and they actually are a good team this time. They're not just blowing smoke up anybody's, rear end.
Yeah.
They're a good team. They really are. This is going to be a fun rematch coming up now in 12 days.
Yeah, I think that is coming up fast. I think that I want to gauge your opinion throughout the program on what you think the Packers need to do the rest of the way to hold on and win this division. But not to mention the volleyball team as well here at Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah, I forgot the volleyball. Yeah, they
16.
swept as well. They got a tough one against Stanford.
13 straight years they've made it to the round of 16. I don't even know if they can call it the Sweet 16. I don't know if that's trademarked by basketball, but the Sweet 16 itself, the final 16 teams, Wisconsin is a part of it. 13 straight years they've done that. This is a very special time to be a fan of Wisconsin sports. And for a moment, it almost felt like the 4-8 Badgers football team might get a crack at a bowl game, considering how many teams opted out. I mean, it is crazy how many of these teams are like bowls have lost all of their luster, almost all of their luster.
They have, and a lot of that's because of money.
And they're just money-making opportunities for Pop-Tarts and stuff like that. Like it is a very unique world we're living in now. We are now into uncharted territory with college football and college sports in general. But as it stands, Wisconsin is dominating across the board. Name a sport, they're playing incredibly well right now. Football's no longer playing, so we can say that. But to circle back to your point about the Packers and the Bears, I want to hear from our listeners on the NicolayLaw.com talking text line 877-794-1973. What was their biggest takeaway from yesterday's performance? Because for me, my biggest takeaway was that Jordan Love, this time of year, is one of the most reliable and valuable quarterbacks in the league. I know he threw an interception yesterday, and it was as ugly as anything you've probably seen him throw in his career. A couple years ago when he was a first-year starter, he threw one right to Robert Spillane on the Raiders. That was like, what did he possibly see? This one, Brady tried to give him credit, said Golden was back there, and he was trying to force it to him. Long story short, outside of that, Jordan Love played incredibly well yesterday, and he was the driving force in their victory.
Still had a quarterback rating. Man, I got the stat sheet over here.
Quarterback rating is such a unique stat, too, because it spits in the eye of the eyeball test, which I know a lot of people use as an inexact science, but Love was hitting his guys. He was spreading the ball around. But yeah, where does QBR fall?
His quarterback rating, as I find the stat sheet, even despite the terrible interception because of the 3 touchdowns, 17 of 25, 234 yards, a quarterback rating of 120.7.
That's very good. That's on a scale of 158.3 is the max.
Yeah.
So, and that's like you've played a perfect game, which doesn't happen. So, yeah, Jordan Love yesterday, I thought, Jacobs did what he needed to do. He fought for that touchdown, which ultimately was the difference maker. He had some big plays on that final possession for Green Bay, but it did kind of sit on the shoulders of Jordan Love offensively yesterday. And he was making throws. Luke Musgrave, in my opinion, probably got screwed out of a big catch. Would have been, 36 yards there in the first quarter.
I thought he caught that one. I saw that replay, as I'm sure everybody did a million times at home. I didn't think that he caught it, when I first saw it from a million miles away in the press box, even though I had my binoculars. I turned to Billy and I said, did he haul that thing in? And I didn't think that he did. I thought it hit the ground. I'm not convinced that it hit the ground. I didn't think that the Packers got any favors at all from the referees yesterday. There was a 15-yarder that I thought the Packers got kind of screwed on as well on a personal foul.
No doubt.
I forgot the
Keyshawn
player.
Nixon was getting involved.
He was getting choked.
These guys yesterday.
He was getting choked, is what he was.
Yeah. Luther Burden.
Burden.
Bears.
Yep.
Bears have a lot of confidence in him moving forward as a very good wide receiver, and maybe this is the beginning of his villain arc with Green Bay. Yesterday he was the guy that they went to most frequently. I think he had 60-something receiving yards, but thought the Packers in general, as we're doing broad statements, I mean, the Packers did an incredible job limiting the passing attack from Chicago. I conversation with our in-house Bears fan, Sean Killebrew, he played great. I thought that Caleb did well enough. I thought that there were passes that he certainly would like to have back. I think that if you can get him rolling to his right, he's one of the greatest weapons that any team has right now at quarterback, because for whatever reason, rolling to his strong side, he is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
But the Packers got him, the play call itself on the final play of the game, rolling to his left, which is a far, far tougher pass. And he's not as polished as, say, Patrick Mahomes would be in that situation, where you'd feel very confident that the throw is going to be made. Left it short, and Keyshawn made the most of it.
Without a doubt. And we're going to continue talking about the Packers throughout the entire day today. Dominique Yates from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel is going to join us at 12:35. We'll check in with Dave, as you mentioned, at 11:35. And, we'll hear from Jordan Love. We'll hear from Matt LaFleur here coming up in a couple of minutes as well. We'll hear from Micah Parsons, who had a lot to say about sleeves after the game yesterday. I had a chance to talk to Evan Williams briefly in the locker room after the game yesterday as well, because this kind of was in no small way a tale of two halves, because if you looked at the way that the Packers defense was so dominant in the first half, Bears made some adjustments. Like I said, at the top, they're a good team. They know they're a good team. They've got an outstanding offensive line. They started to run the ball really well. And I asked Evan Williams about that, and you'll hear that brief conversation coming up a little bit later on in the program as well. So the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line always open to you as well. And as we mentioned, just to kind of circle back around, I'm sorry I forgot to mention volleyball, but there was just so many other things that were going on campus as well. I don't mean the short shrift, Kelly Sheffield's remarkable run that they've had so far. And then, like you said, on into the Sweet 16 for the 13th straight year. Really tall task that awaits them in Austin, Texas, coming up on Friday afternoon. They have to take on Stanford. But you know what? It's not supposed to be easy to win a championship, is it?
No, it's not. And I think that it's easy to be, this is probably the wrong word, flippant about these early rounds. We've grown so accustomed to them not even being challenged. They have advanced, as I've already highlighted, into the double digits in consecutive years to this round of 16, where they are now going to be looking to make it to the Final Four once again. So, yes, they took care of business at home. They beat the teams that they are supposed to beat. Now you start getting pretty significant matchups coming up for Kelly Sheffield's squad. And this is a time of the year where people are often in flux. Where do I shift my attention? Football will be ending at some point, let's say in the next 2 months for the Packers. Maybe they go all the way to Santa Clara and win it all.
Never know.
Where do you shift your focus then between the end of football and the beginning of baseball? And these are the teams that you should keep your eye on. Volleyball will be long over, but other than that, we're looking at two very impressive Wisconsin hockey teams.
Without a doubt. Yeah, the Wisconsin men's hockey team, we almost take for granted, and I said this to Brian Posick a couple of weeks ago, we almost take it for granted how good the Wisconsin women's hockey team is. Wisconsin men's team has, they've kind of gone through it a little bit in the last several years. And right now they seem to be riding high. They're playing really, really good hockey as they approach the break. They're playing such hot hockey. I don't want them to go on the break right now, but that's just kind of the way that the calendar falls. If you are a college hockey fan. All right, the NickLaylaw.com talking text line is open to you at 877-794-1973. I want to hear from Packers head coach Matt LaFleur. This is his post-game news conference after yesterday's 28-21 win that puts them back in first place against the Chicago Bears.
Got to give the Bears a ton of credit. We knew that it was going to be a tough challenge, and it was exactly that. It took a full 60 minutes, and we're fortunate that we made a play when we needed to at the end of the game. But, it was a back and forth battle, particularly in that second half.
Matt, I'm sure you don't want to get fined, but what does Micah Parsons have to do to draw a holding penalty?
I guess I don't know. I don't know. I thought there was one that certainly was questionable, to say the least, but apparently the officials disagree. So it is what it is, and we just got to continue to strain and fight and try to get to the quarterback.
What kind of answer did you get on that when you were pointing to the scoreboard and talking to the ref there at that timeout?
Yeah, I'm not going to get into what we were talking about. I just, officials, I don't think that their jobs are easy by any stretch. I think it is a difficult job, but, I guess I don't know what holding is anymore, because I thought that was pretty clear and obvious hold, but I guess I don't know what that means.
Haven't seen these guys again in I think it's 13 days. What do you tell the guys about this one, and then what's to come?
Yeah, I mean it is what it is. You just got to move on to the next game, and we got a great test in front of us going to Denver. I'm not sure if they won today or not, but they did. All right. So, I mean, what are they, 11-2 now or whatever it is? So we got a great challenge in front of us, and I don't think you can focus on anything other than that. Obviously, we're gonna get together. We're gonna watch the game tomorrow, this past game tomorrow, and there's a lot of stuff obviously to clean up. It was disappointing. I thought there was an opportunity in the second half to kind of pull away, knowing that we were getting the ball, and to go 3 and out to start the second half was not great. And then they turned around, they had a long drive and scored a touchdown. So it put them right back in the football game.
Matt, I know you're not surprised, but what does it say about Keyshawn that he goes through the stuff with the penalties in the first half and then he makes them?
Yeah, and I thought one of those was I thought he got grabbed, and I thought that was a penalty, but again, I'm not an official.
What did you say to him though when he came off the field after the personal foul? And it looked like you guys kept him on the bench for a couple of plays after that.
Yeah, I'm not going to get into what I said to him. He knows what I said to him. We had a quick conversation, and I just, you got to be smart. You got to keep your poise. I get it. Football is an emotional game, especially when you talk about Packers Bears. There's just a heightened sense of emotion, but you got to keep your poise at the end of the day, and you can't do anything that hurts the team. But however, I will say that I was proud of how he responded, and certainly I know he had a couple PBUs, and then to have that interception at the end of the game was obviously a critical moment.
The final touchdown, you had kind of passing personnel up there. Was the play call changed? Did Jordan change that to a run, or was that called a run?
No, that was a run. It was a run. It was an RPO, if you will. I mean, we have a pass option on it. No, the final touchdown, yes, that was a cam play. Sorry, I was thinking about the play before when we got the offsides. Yeah, we had a can on the play. It was a pass, and we canned to the run because we didn't like the look. So that was a heck of a job by Jordan.
You were obviously you've had some rough spots during the season. Now here you are, you're in first place in the division. Obviously nothing is guaranteed, but what does it mean to be where you are at the moment?
It means nothing right now. It means a lot, but it also, there's 4 weeks left, and you got to take it day by day. You got to really embrace that grind, embrace the challenge. It's not going to be easy from here on out. We got a great test in Denver coming up, and you just our guys really got to push and try to find, any competitive advantage that we can get in order to go there on the road against a really quality opponent and find a way to get a win.
Did you or Ben say anything to each other, or was it just a blow-by handshake?
Oh, it's just, I think, quick handshake. I mean, we'll see him again in 2 weeks. So,
it's not often where a head coach will call out another one. Any extra satisfaction with this?
no, absolutely not. It was just, I mean, it's Packers Bears. It's a great rivalry. And certainly with what was at stake in regards to positioning in the NFC North, I mean, that's the only thing that matters.
On the go-ahead touchdown drive he had, I think it was like 33. You pitched it out to Jacobs. How did he get through there?
That's a great question. A great question, Mike. That was a hell of an individual effort because we missed. We were trying to B block up to the backer, and I think the 3 technique got a little loose. We knew the end was going to be there. He was unblocked. We thought we could outrun him. He put his foot in the ground, and then all of a sudden I just see a burst right in front of my face, and I think it was a 21-yard gain. It was just a great individual effort, and I thought the guys were straining to try to get a block for him as well downfield.
This rivalry has been pretty one-sided throughout most of your tenure. Does it feel different now that you guys are where you're always at and they're good in these games?
That's a really good football team. We got a lot of respect. They got good talent and good coaching. So it's a really good football team, and I thought they did a nice job in the second half making whatever adjustments they made. And I mean, they kind of controlled the game in the second half, but luckily when they scored, we were able to answer a couple of times. There weren't a lot of possessions in the game. Both teams were able to possess the ball, and just it comes down. It's always like a play here or a play there. That's the difference in the game.
When you guys lost,
Christian Watson week to week after what we saw today.
Yeah, he is a dynamic player, and we got to continue to find ways to get him the ball. I think we had obviously 3 pretty explosive plays, the 2 touchdowns, and I'm just really proud of how he is. What happened a year ago versus Chicago Bears, and how he's responded and how he's worked to get him into a spot now where you go out and you see what he can do, and got a lot of love and a lot of respect for Christian Watson.
When you lost Kraft, that was a pretty big blow to the offense, but it seems like your offense is picking up steam anyway. What's been the key to that? Has Watson been the key to that, or what do you think?
I think the collective, I mean, it's all those guys just kind of taking it on. I think, obviously a week ago, Wicks had a heck of a game. He was kind of hindered in this game. His ankle was really bothering him. So, he wasn't as available as he typically is. And MG's fighting through his deal. It's crazy to me that, Rome, he's been as impactful as anybody, and he's got no touches today. And we certainly tried to get him the ball, and it just didn't work out. But I think the collective, all those guys, just battling for one another, and you just never know who's going to be the guy to make a play. And I mean, Bo Melton comes up and has a critical play in the game right before the half. And but I think it says a lot about the group, how they're resilient, how they root for each other, how they strain for each other, and they just go out there and compete. And I love that room. And it's not just the receiver room, but all those guys. It was certainly great to have Jaden Reed back out there today. You could see some of the dynamic playmaking ability that he brings to our offense, obviously with that critical catch on a through route that Jordan put on that final touchdown drive. So I think all those guys are certainly capable of making plays, and it's just you'd like to have 100 plays in a game so they can each have 5 to 7 touches.
Matt, what's it like knowing that you have the type of defense you do that can close a game?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. And I think that's the challenge, is try to put our defense in a position where they can go after the quarterback. And Caleb Williams, I mean, he is a tough guy to sack. It's amazing the stuff that he can get out of. And then he's obviously he can throw extremely well and extremely accurate on the run. And he made a ton of big time throws tonight where he got out of some crazy stuff and made some huge plays for them.
You knew coming in how much these guys had taken the ball away, especially with interceptions. What did you think of the way your quarterback responded after throwing the early pick?
Yeah, that was obviously a tough play. But I thought, outside of that, man, I thought he did a really good job, number one, taking care of the ball, but just making huge plays. That the third down throw to Christian Watson, he sees man coverage and he checks to that play, and that's a hell of a job to him. Same with the first touchdown pass to him. He sees an all out pressure and he checks to that play, and just a great job by him.
You mentioned that a lot of these games come down to a play or two. You guys seem to make those more often than not. Where does that come from, do you think?
Really good players. I mean, that's what you got to have in this league. It's hard to win games without great players, and we're fortunate. We got what's so great about our guys is we feel like we have a lot of great players, but as great of players as they are, the character in that locker room, I think is second to none. And so I love that group. I love this team, and we're just going to continue to battle.
So we've said repeatedly, you got to see these guys in 2 weeks. I get that. You got to play a really good Denver team, but you always say that when you go through adversity, you usually come out better on the other side. You guys have certainly faced it.
If you handle it the right way. You have to handle it the right way, and you got to just try to keep your head down and keep swinging and fighting and just going to work, And I think teams that are able to overcome adversity by doing that and sticking to your process, I think they're usually better for it in the long run, because there's a lot of confidence that comes with going through some struggle, whether it's football or life or whatever, and being able to just overcome it and come out the other side. And so I personally think that resiliency is the key to life, and you just got to keep battling. And we got a bunch of guys in there that are willing to do that. They're going to fight through the tough stuff and just continue to battle.
So do you think your guys have approached it the right way? And while it would have been nice to just breeze through the first 13 games, you have more work to do, but do you think?
Yeah, there's a lot of ball in front of us, and you just can't take it for granted. And you have to put the work in to put yourself in a position to go out there and have success. And this league is just so competitive. The balance in our league is crazy, and you just can't take it for granted. And no matter who you're playing, where you're playing, when you're playing, you better bring your A game. And if you don't, you're going to get beat. And so I think we've all learned that and felt that.
Packers head coach Matt LaFleur after the game. Any takeaways from coach's comments after the game for you, Nick?
I just think it's interesting to, kind of consider the budding rivalry between him and Ben Johnson. I felt like that post-game interaction between the two of them was rather brief. I didn't anticipate it being buddy-buddy, but we're all going to read into it if it's 2 seconds long, and that's what it was.
It wasn't even that. It was,
bang.
All right.
See ya.
All right, we're out. See you in 13 days.
Yeah.
We will see you in a couple of minutes. D.N.D. continues on as we are without the second D, although he is going to join us coming up a little bit more than an hour from now from sunny Orlando. He got out of the snow. I guess that's the smartest thing that he did. But he also has a special guest that he will bring to us coming up a little bit later on as well. Also, Dominic Yates will join us from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, multimedia Packers reporter. He's Nick Brusewitz. I'm Doug Russell. Keep him coming on the talk and text line. We'll spin through that coming up in just a couple of minutes as well. We'll also hear from Micah Parsons. We'll hear from Jordan Love. We'd love to hear from you as well. Stay with us. Victory Chicken Monday. Packers over the Bears 28-21 at Lambeau Field. Stay with us on the game.
Want to watch D.N.D? They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
There you go.
There we go.
Just search 97.3 The Game. First place in the NFC North now belongs to your Green Bay Packers.
Here's the snap. Blitz on. They pick it up initially. Lofts the middle. Going for Watson.
Yes.
Got it. Touchdown. Green Bay Packers. Christian Watson took it away from Kevin Byard, and the Packers strike first. 23-yard touchdown pass.
This is a game that means a lot to everybody. It's an NFC North matchup. Obviously, Bears are number one seed, so it's a huge game. And like I said, we'll see these guys here in a couple weeks again.
Doug, Nick, and Dave are reacting to the win over the Bears all day on the game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1971.
The Doors released their sixth and final studio album, L.A. Woman, while Paul McCartney releases his second solo album, Ram, which goes to #1 UK and #2 US. The album includes several jibes at John Lennon and the #1 single, Uncle Albert Admiral Halsey. In May of '71, soul singer Marvin Gaye releases his concept album, What's Going On, and has 3 top 10 singles. And Rod Stewart's third solo album goes #1 and has a #1 single, Maggie May.
Maggie, I wish I'd never seen your face.
In July of '71, The Who releases Who's Next. It tops the charts in the UK and goes to #4 in the US.
Teenage wasteland, oh yeah. Teenage wasteland.
The Allman Brothers released their breakthrough live double album at Fillmore East. And in August, the concert for Bangladesh, organized by George Harrison and Ravi Shankar, is held in New York City. In addition to the organizers, Eric Clapton, Bob Dylan, Badfinger, Leon Russell, and Billy Preston appear.
Feel like it's all gently.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1971. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1967.
Try to set the night on fire.
In January of 1967, Los Angeles band The Doors released their debut album, which eventually goes to #2, and features the single Light My Fire, which goes to #1 in July. The Rolling Stones released Ruby Tuesday, an ode to a groupie written by Keith Richards. The song takes them to #1 in the U.S. in March. And San Francisco band The Jefferson Airplane released the surrealistic Pillow album, scoring 2 top 10 hits with White Rabbit and Somebody to Love.
Don't you want somebody to love? Don't you need somebody to love? Wouldn't you love somebody to love? You better find somebody to love.
In March of '67, Buffalo Springfield re-releases their debut album to include the hit single For What It's Worth. In April of '67, Give Me Some Lovin' by the Spencer Davis Group goes to #7 in the U.S., with vocals by 17-year-old Steve Winwood. And in May, Elvis Presley marries his 21-year-old girlfriend Priscilla in Las Vegas. In May, Mitch Ryder hits #4 with Devil with a Blue Dress, Good Golly Miss Molly. And the Jimi Hendrix Experience released their debut in the UK. In July, they toured the US as the opening act for the Monkees in support of the US album release.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1967. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1971.
The Doors released their sixth and final studio album, L.A. Woman, while Paul McCartney releases his second solo album, Ram, which goes to #1 UK and #2 US. The album includes several jibes at John Lennon and the #1 single, Uncle Albert Admiral Halsey. In May of '71, soul singer Marvin Gaye releases his concept album, What's Going On, and has 3 top 10 singles. And Rod Stewart's third solo album goes #1 and has a #1 single, Maggie May.
Maggie, I wish I'd never seen your face.
In July of '71, The Who releases Who's Next. It tops the charts in the UK and goes to #4 in the US.
Teenage wasteland, oh yeah. Teenage wasteland.
The Allman Brothers released their breakthrough live double album at Fillmore East. And in August, the concert for Bangladesh, organized by George Harrison and Ravi Shankar, is held in New York City. In addition to the organizers, Eric Clapton, Bob Dylan, Badfinger, Leon Russell, and Billy Preston appear.
Feel like it's all gently.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1971. Coming up.
D.N.D here on the Game Radio Network. Dave Gasper is, he went to Orlando. I would say he's on assignment, but this was an assignment that he kind of chose for himself. And he'll join us coming up about an hour from now, a little bit more than an hour from now. Nick Bruzewitz with us as always. Doug Russell with you as almost always. Nick, you've got some time off coming up later on this. I think everybody's got some time coming off later on this month as well. You going anywhere fun? Or are you just getting out of like town for a couple of days? Where's Nick? Oops. Sorry. There we go.
We go.
Okay, so here's a peek behind the curtain. Dave usually runs master control here, and this is like I'm never in this room.
That's right.
It is like I'm piloting the space shuttle in here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different mouses that control different things. I've got the control board in front of me. Bear with me, folks. Sorry.
Well,
about that,
I could tell something was up because you weren't responding to anything I was saying during the break. So I was like, maybe he's busy with something.
Nope. I just had the wrong button pushed.
That's right.
My apologies.
I'm gonna be down in Miami next weekend, not this upcoming one, but the 19th, 20th, 21st, and 22nd. I will probably be off that Monday as well.
Okay.
Just getting back from down south, so it'll be a good time. Looking forward to it. But in the meantime, I think Dave's doing a little extra credit, right? He said he doesn't have an assignment. It's an assignment he gave himself. He's doing some extra credit right now. And he's certainly really beat up to do it. He's happy to be down there. I think that he's in heaven. We'll hear from him directly later. And it sounds like he had an interview or at least an opportunity to speak with a pretty significant Brewers figure in recent moments. So we'll play that back once we receive it as well. But what a unique, special thing the MLB does, right?
Yeah, I mean, you got to get everybody together at some point, and that's how deals get done. Now, there's the managers' meetings, there's the owners' meetings where they discuss rules, and most of the leagues do this. I know the NFL does it a lot as well. I don't know how much the NBA does it, but certainly there's a whole. It's down there at the JW Marriott in Orlando, which is very resorty. It's there's a golf course behind it, a PGA golf course, I believe, that they've had actual professional events at. And it's, just a great meeting place where everybody can kind of get in front of each other. And as we've come to learn with Ben Johnson and Matt LaFleur, they don't always know each other and they don't always like each other. Not everyone in sports, just because you have a similar job, whether it's baseball or football or basketball or any sport for that matter, doesn't mean you like each other. I don't think there's a whole lot of love lost between Ben Johnson and Matt LaFleur. And I don't know if it was escalated this week. And I don't know if it was escalated yesterday. I'm trying to figure out the genesis of that. Is it just because they were rivals in the same division? Because I do know that there are times that Matt LaFleur has rubbed some people the wrong way for whatever reason. Just like Curt Cignetti. We'll talk about the college football playoff. He rubs a lot of people the wrong way, a lot of the time too.
No, definitely. I think that when you look at Ben Johnson and Matt LaFleur, I mean, in a lot of ways, they're the same guy. I mean, they hang their hat on offensive execution, creativity on that side of the ball. Ben Johnson's the flavor of the month, right? He has become now well recognized as some level of a genius on the offensive side. And Matt LaFleur, I have to think at this point is like, yo, dude, you're coming for my crown in this division. I mean, look at my record. Look at how many games I've won. Look at how many games I've won in the postseason. Like, Ben Johnson hasn't done that yet. He hasn't been there or done that yet. Certainly as a head coach. So,
or as a coordinator for that matter. Listen, I mean, the Detroit Lions, he was their coordinator for 3 years, was an offensive assistant for 3 years prior to that. It's put up or shut up time if you're the Detroit Lions, because they've been the belle of the ball for the last couple of years. It's like the Buffalo Bills. It's like at some point you've got to beat Kansas City, and the Chiefs are a different team this year than they have been in years past. But it's truly put up or shut up for some of these teams. And and until you get that brass ring, till you hang the pelt on the wall, till you get the trophy, till you get the the banner till you get the parade. I don't know what to tell you.
And I like it. I like that there's some potential bad blood there between the two. And if there's not, at least there's some level of ability to orchestrate it from a media perspective. I like that the Packers are a very good team, of course. And I think that most people feel the same as we do. I think we're in lockstep on this, Doug. When the Bears are good, it makes for certainly a more satisfying victory, to say the least, for the Packers. And they're good. Yesterday, they're good. I mean, they came within a handful of yards from potentially going for the win on a 2-point conversion. A better ball from Caleb Williams to a pretty open Cole Kmet is probably going to put you in a position where Packers have a chance to win it with a stop, or the Bears could win it on a 2-point conversion that they are able to be successful with. So I think that was as much drama as you could probably take from a Packers perspective and be satisfied. I do think your heart in those final moments, like most, was probably beaten through your chest. But I think that's what it's about, and being on the right side of that. And for me, yesterday, that was consecutive games, because I watched the Steelers pull out a narrow victory over their most bitter rival Ravens, win by 5. Ravens had a shot to win it, didn't get it off. Steelers survive, and Packers survived as well. It's what it's about, winning big games against your most bitter rivals.
And we will take a look at the updated playoff standings coming up in just a few minutes as well. But also, that brings up a huge game that's coming up individually, not necessarily because it's the Packers need to beat somebody head to head. It's because this is in no small measure what could be, if everything goes well for both teams, it's a potential, with a capital P, potential Super Bowl preview coming up on Sunday between the Packers and the Broncos. I didn't think the Broncos were going to be nearly as good this year at the beginning of the year, but they have shown that, they're a quality football team. What are they, 11-2 now after beating the Raiders yesterday? So, listen, a lot of things have to fall in a lot of different ways. The Broncos game that I remember the most, and it was before you were born, was Super Bowl 32. The Packers were a double-digit favorite going into that game in San Diego at then Qualcomm Stadium, which has since been torn down. They were a double-digit favorite. They were coming off a Super Bowl 31 win against the Patriots the year before. They were the anointed team. It was Brett Favre's third of 3 MVP seasons, and they did not take that week very seriously. Certainly they didn't on defense. Going into that game, you can ask Leroy Butler. You can ask anybody who was on that team that, for whatever reason, they just thought they could roll out the helmets, roll out the balls, and let's go collect that second Lombardi in a row. And it didn't happen. And they got shocked by John Elway and the Denver Broncos. That's the game that I remember the most between these two teams. I contend that it's the worst loss that the Packers have ever had in their history. Others have said 2014 NFC Championship game. Others have said 4th and 26.
Well, it's the franchise's only Super Bowl loss, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, there's that.
And that's my contention. I know that they lost the 1960 NFL championship game, but they weren't coming off a championship. They were on the ascension under Vince Lombardi. That was the only playoff game that Lombardi ever lost. So you count it because it happened, but this was their only Super Bowl loss, and they were so heavily favored going into it.
From a Broncos perspective, the last time the Chiefs didn't win the AFC West, it was the Broncos, and they went to the Super Bowl and they beat the Panthers. So this is their division to lose at this point. Tonight, the Chargers will square off with the Eagles. Both teams are 8-4. And if the Chargers lose that game, you're talking about 4 games to go for both the Broncos and Chargers, with the Broncos up by 3. I mean, you're feeling pretty good about winning that division. Now it's just about trying to hold off the Patriots for that 1 seed. So it's an incredible season in the NFL. For a guy who has been not necessarily self-branded, but branded by others as a sports socialist, to see...
You don't deny it, though.
Well, I think that socialist is such a strong term with a lot of people. I certainly don't lean into it from a political perspective, but from I want everybody to get one in the NFL.
Sure.
If it's not my team, I would prefer it's not another team racking up win after win after win.
I got you.
Right? Because historically, then the Steelers, who haven't won a Super Bowl now in 16, 17 years, they don't look as poor if everyone is only at like 1 or 2 who have won it. The problem is the Chiefs have won 3. And the problem is that the Patriots have won in that time frame 3. And additionally, Tom Brady won 1 himself elsewhere. So, yeah, I would love to see Josh Allen hoisting that Lombardi if it's not going to be the Packers or Steelers. And there's no excuse this year, especially if the Chiefs don't make it for the Bills to fall short.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you look at the playoff standings right now, the Chiefs are 10th. Of course, they only take 7. They are 10th in the AFC. It looks like, and they only have 15% chance of making it to the playoffs, according to those that make those decisions, which I think is kind of silly, but maybe the dynasty is over. Or is it just a one-year dip? But right now, the Broncos look for real. The Patriots are on a globe, and the Jaguars at 9-4. Who would have thought that was going to be the case? Right now in the NFC, the Rams are the top seed, followed by the Packers, then the Eagles, Buccaneers, Seahawks, 49ers, and the Bears in one day, in 3 hours, go from 1 to 7.
Yikes.
That is how bunched up the NFC is, and that's how important these final 4 games are going to be. We're going to hear from Evan Williams coming up straight ahead. Also, Dominique Yates on the Packers beats at about 12:35. We'll check in with Dave Gasper coming up in the next hour as well. Keep them coming on the talk and text line. We'll spin through that coming up in just a few minutes as well. It's D.N.D. without the second D, Doug and Nick here on The Game.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
D.N.D. will be back in just a moment. Let's relive the best moments from the Packers' win over the Bears.
Here's the snap. Blitz on. They pick it up initially. Lofts the middle. Going for Watson.
Yes.
Got it. Touchdown. Green Bay Packers. Christian Watson took it away from Kevin Byard, and the Packers strike first. 23-yard touchdown pass. In the shotgun, here's the snap. Jordan Love. Blitz on. They pick it up. Good block that time from the running back. Love, rainbows, middle, wide open.
Yes.
It's a touchdown for Bo Melton. Yes, a touchdown, 45 yards. Tight end standing up left side of the line at second down. Quick toss into the crowd. Ball broken up, incomplete. 10 on the play for Moore. Keyshawn Nixon literally blew it up. Long count. Here's the snap. Rashawn Williams looking. Flush. Rolling right. Chased by Rashawn Gary. To the sidelines. Throws it away down the right side. All right. Fakes the handoff. Quick throw. Looking. Got Watson cutting left. To the 20. To the 15. To the 10. To the house. To the touchdown. Christian Watson. When 9 equals number 1 receiver. Under center, Jordan Love on 1st and 10 at the Green Bay 46. And he fakes the handoff, back to throw. Love lofts, right side. Going for Reeves, got it! Far sidelines, they beat C.J. Gardner-Johnson to the Chicago 36-yard line. Toss Jacobs around the right end, has to beat Sweat. Cuts inside of him, breaks free, 25-20, 15-10, bulldozing down inside the 10 to the 6-yard line of Chicago. Byard got him down. 22-yard gallop. Snap, give Jacobs up the middle, burrowing his way. End zone, and he is in. Yes, a touchdown. Josh Jacobs would not be denied. And the Packers lead 27-21. They get motion to the tight end to the right. Fake to Swift, bootlegging left. Williams looking, floats the end zone. It's intercepted. Interception. A leading interception by Keyshawn Nixon. And there is your dagger. In a Lambeau leap to the south end zone stand. 22 seconds ago. And the Packers have hung on. The Packers will hang on. They will take the lead in the NFC North. Heading to the final month of the season. And a rematch with these Bears in 2 weeks in Chicago. Love drops to a knee, and that will do it. The 211th meeting between the Packers and Bears. What an epic battle this was. Won by Green Bay 28-21.
You are listening to the home of the best Packers coverage, The Game.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Hall & Oates songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, Kiss on My List.
Because your kiss is
Number 2. You Make My Dreams. Number 1. Man Eater.
Oh, here she comes. Watch out, boy, she'll chew you up. Oh, here she comes. She's a man eater.
Hear more from Hall & Oates and similar artists now. Search for Hall & Oates on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
On the corner of Main Street, just trying to keep it in line. Say you wanna
Welcome back in.
move
It's D.N.D. here on this Victory Chicken Monday. The Packers over the Bears 28-21 at Lambeau Field. The Packers will take on the Denver Broncos, the top seeded as we speak right now. Denver Broncos. They beat the Las Vegas Raiders in the desert yesterday. I had a chance to briefly speak with Evan Williams. I was more in the scrum than anything else with Evan Williams, who's really coming into his own as an outstanding safety in a second season out of Oregon. Here's a few minutes of number 33 after yesterday's victory, number 9.
Dogfight, man. It was definitely a back and forth game. And I mean, it was everything we expected, really. Like whenever you get in those rivalry games, you think you're ahead. You're never that far ahead to, where a good team like that can't come back and, make it a game. So it was a 4-quarter dogfight, man. Exactly what we expected, and definitely felt good to come out on top.
How does it feel to be back in first place?
Very good. Very good. No, yeah. But we also understand, it don't mean much if we don't hold up our end of the bargain for the rest of the year. Like, these are some crucial games coming down. We got, 4 more, 3 of them being division games, something like that. So, yeah, I mean, we understand that, we did a good job today, but our future is, in our hands, and we still have to come out and perform at a really high level, these next 4 weeks. So.
I mean, you talk about that final play. It seemed like your defense had that covered with, and then next getting that interception.
Yeah, I mean, shout out Key, man. No, we were just talking about in the huddle. Eyes on your keys. Like, these are the plays that the moment gets a little too big for some people, and lose eyesight on whatever your man is, and they sneak one out. So. Yeah, just we were preaching that in the huddle. They gave us, roll boot with the back out of the backfield. And, Key came up huge, made that play in the back of the end zone. I didn't even celebrate. I didn't even have the breath to celebrate. I was just sitting in the end zone like, thank you, Lord. Like, I'm so glad he caught that. But, big play.
How important is that final drive of the offense? Not only did you get the lead, obviously, but to give you guys a breather after that long drive.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge, man, to have an offense like ours that, can control the pace of the game, can control the tempo, and give us a breather too. There's a few long drives, that you come off the field and you just get to watch Josh Jacobs run the ball over people and 10 throw the ball downfield for touchdowns. It is a luxury for sure. We definitely don't take that for granted from the defense side of the ball.
It seems like the past couple of weeks you guys have done a really good job closing out games. Has that been a focus of late?
I think playing 4-quarter football is more the focus, and just like taking it one play at a time. I mean, we understand that, finishing is obviously a huge part. We have to be able to sustain our, energy, especially, as games get long and drives get really long into the end of the game. But I feel like we're more focused just on our process, like making every play look identical as far as our play style, just our aggression, our physical, activity. So, when you try to do that, you try to sustain that for 4 quarters, you get some games that look like today, some good dogfights. And, we were happy to come out on the right end of it.
You talk about watching Josh Jacobs, but Jordan Love's Toyotathon run continues. Have you bought into that? Because it's kind of crazy, right?
It is crazy. No, what is it, like 30-some touchdowns and
touchdowns now,
2
interceptions?
3 interceptions.
Nuts.
I don't know, man. I mean, he already has a deal with them, right? I mean, he has to by now. But no, yeah, I feel like whenever it gets in November or December and you get the ball in 10's hands, some good things are going to happen. And no, it was not different today. You know, he gets the ball and he just can make every throw. And, you know, has the poise in the pocket to be able to read defenses and know where the ball is going to go. And, yeah, you know, add in a splash of confidence and, you know, he's pretty untouchable on the field.
You mentioned you didn't have the energy to celebrate at the end. It was two very different halves that way, right? How gassed were you guys in the second half?
I wouldn't say gas, but I mean, as those drives get long, you just have to strain to keep your mental focus. Really, like that's the biggest challenge because you know teams like you know the Bears, they do a good job of you know once they get into that shot zone, like that area or the you know close to the red zone, but not quite there yet. We call it the logo area. They can you know get really tricky with things, and you saw a couple of reverses, and I feel like we did a good job of staying disciplined. You know, being in the places that we need to be, but no, they do a good job of, you know, having a lot of eye candy, having a lot of, you know, motions to, you know, kind of take your eyes out of the right place. And, yeah, I'm honestly proud of the, you know, the way we responded and the way we finished.
As far as the rivalry itself, how did it feel extra chippy out there? It's been a while since both teams have been this good at the same time.
I don't think it was extra chippy. It was, I mean, everything a division game is supposed to be, you know, we're two teams that are not very fond of each other. And, you know, you add in just the competitors that all of us are, and, you know, it gets to be a close game. Tensions are going to rise. It's kind of just football at that point. But, yeah, I mean, the challenge is, you know, not allowing that to take you out of your game, not allow that to take you out of, you know, focusing on the details and, yeah, finding ways to get off the field.
You were able to bottle them up pretty good in the first half. In the second half, they were able to move the ball a little bit better. What did you see from them after halftime?
I mean, credit to them. They had a good energy coming out. And I feel like they established a run game pretty early, and I feel like that led to some good things for them. As far as the boot game, was very prevalent in the second half. You know, they felt like every other play was, you know, a boot trying to out leverage us. But yeah, when they get their run going, they, you know, everything lives off the run really, with them. So, yeah, they kind of established it a little early and found, you know, a couple of explosive plays. But, yeah, it's all about how you finish. And, yeah, found a way to get off the field when it mattered most.
All right, that's Evan Williams after yesterday's game. And, yeah, they got off the field when it mattered most. And at the end of the day, that's what matters. And, listen, this was a nail-biter right down to the end. But as you said, Nick, and I agree 1,000% with you, I mean, this is what it's all about. This is why you play games like this, and this is why they matter.
Absolutely, 100%. And I look forward to digging in a little bit more to yesterday's performance coming up the rest of the show.
All right, we are just about 1 hour down. We are just about 3 hours to go. Dave Gasper's going to join us.
You are listening to D.N.D. with Doug, Nick, and Dave.
This pains me to say this, but Dave's right.
Hey, why does that pain you to say? I'm right quite a bit, I think.
Middays here on the game.
Baby, right. Yeah. All I do is win, win, win.
The Packers are in a big win over the Bears to take over first place in the NFC North.
Fake to Swift, bootlegging left Williams looking to float to the end zone. It's intercepted! Interception! A leaping interception by Keyshawn Nixon. And there is your dagger in a Lambeau leap to the south end zone stands. 22 seconds ago, and the Packers have hung on.
We take the lead right there, and you're just hoping the defense is able to get a stop and be able to stop their drive. And they put a couple of good plays together, and we're moving it. And then those moments, that's when you need your best players to go out there and make a big time play to be able to end it. And ball in the air, not knowing what's going on, and seeing Keyshawn be able to go up there and get it was awesome. So to be able to end it on an interception and be able to get that turnover for the defense was huge.
We are basking in the glow of the win all day on the game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1973.
Boston band Aerosmith released their debut album. It fares poorly. It would be re-released in '76 and yield a top 10 hit, Dream On.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Elvis Presley's live TV special, Aloha from Hawaii, is watched by more than 1 billion people worldwide and introduces the world to the rhinestone white jumpsuit. In February of 73, Alice Cooper has a #1 album with Billion Dollar Babies, along with 3 top 40 singles. Elton John also has a #1 album and his first #1 single with Crocodile Rock. Paul McCartney and Wings have a #1 single with My Love, and the Stooges signed to Columbia Records and released their final album, Raw Power, produced by David Bowie. In March, Pink Floyd releases the now legendary Dark Side of the Moon. It goes to #1 and becomes one of the best-selling albums of all time.
And everything under the sun is you, but the sun is a great spot.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1973. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1968.
Born to be wild.
In January of 1968, Steppenwolf released their debut album, including the single Born to be Wild, which charts at #2 in the U.S. Johnny Cash records 2 live shows at California's Folsom Prison, along with June Carter and Carl Perkins. Also in January, the Beatles are #1 with Hello Goodbye. In London, they launched their own company, Applecore, with a store, a recording studio, and record label. February of 68, Pink Floyd lead singer Syd Barrett is checked into a psychiatric hospital and the band replaces him with David Gilmour. The Beatles, Donovan, Mia Farrow, and others travel to India to study transcendental meditation with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. And Bill Graham opens the Fillmore East concert venue in an abandoned New York City theater. April of 1968, the musical Hair opens on Broadway for the first of 1,750 performances. It would spawn several top 40 hits, including Aquarius, Good Morning Starshine, and Hair. Simon and Garfunkel released their album Bookends, which goes to #1 in the US and the UK. The single Mrs. Robinson would go to #1 in June, thanks to the movie The Graduate.
God bless you, please, Mrs. Robinson. Heaven holds a place for those who pray. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1968. Coming up. iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Elton John to talk about performing live.
Going on stage was when I could show off and be comfortable. And you know, I was always a bit timid off stage. And the stage gave me an outlet. And you'll find that with many performers, whether they be dancers, actors, singers, musicians. They have the outlet on stage to become the person they're not off stage. And I think that's what eventually led to my troubles, along with the drugs and the drink, is that the person who was fast becoming popular as Elton John and becoming, you know, the #1 rock star in the world had kind of escaped from the person off stage, and the balance was completely off kilter. And the more I became successful, the harder I worked, and the less time I concentrated on being normal or trying to be kind of normal. But people who knew me privately were shocked, I think, at what I was doing off stage. Rather, you know, they knew what I was going to do on stage, but off stage they were shocked and disappointed.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Elton John and all your favorite artists.
Listen to us live 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app and watch our shows each weekday on YouTube, Facebook, and X. We are the Game.
Drop it. He's very knowledgeable, very intelligent guy, very personable guy.
Here's Doug Russell.
We haven't heard that one in a while. It's been Dave for so many months or so here on the Game Radio Network. But as we like to begin with the Packers on this Victory Chicken Monday, they are indeed in the driver's seat.
Fake to Swift, bootlegging left. Williams looking, floats the end zone. It's intercepted. Interception. A leaping interception by Keyshawn Nixon. And there is your dagger.
I always love the dagger. That's 9 daggers this year for Wayne. Would like to get a few more. They've got 4 more regular season games, and then who knows what's going to happen. 28-21, the final score. By the way, Nick, the Packers, after having gone 1-5 in division play last year, 4-0 so far against the NFC North with 2 games left to play. One against the Bears coming up in now 12 days, and then the season finale, regular season finale against the Vikings, who looked good yesterday.
Yeah, they are rolling right now, the Pack, and you got an opportunity to get a pretty significant road victory here. You're going to finish the year with 3 of the 4 on the road, and the only home game is potentially a hungry and desperate Baltimore Ravens team. So you got a lot ahead of you. If you're the Green Bay Packers, you got to keep your head down and keep working. As we talked about earlier today, still a quarter of the season left, and it really will define where they're going to go when it comes to January and potentially February.
Certainly. It was a tale of 2 halves. The Green Bay defense dominating the Chicago offense for the first half before some adjustments made for a nail-biter the rest of the way. If you weren't with us just a couple of moments ago before the top of the hour, I asked safety Evan Williams after the game.
You were able to bottle them up pretty good in the first half. In the second half, they were able to move the ball a little bit better. What did you see from them after halftime?
Credit to them. They had a good energy coming out. And I feel like they established a run game pretty early. I feel like that led to some good things for them. As far as the boot game was very prevalent in the second half. They felt like every other play was, a boot trying to out leverage us. But yeah, when they get their run going, they, everything lives off the run really with them. So they kind of established it a little early and found, a couple explosive plays. But yeah, it's all about how you finish. And found a way to get off the field when it mattered most.
Absolutely. The Packers now move on to play at Denver next week. The Broncos now 11-2 after beating the Raiders 24-17. It was a good weekend for Badgers sports. Let's start on the ice.
Dexheimer keeps it alive in the attacking zone. Dick away from pressure, lifts it out to Dexheimer. A stick goes flying, and whose stick is that? Oh, quick shot, Badgers score. Ben Dexheimer from the left circle beat Kemp Lowe. Wisconsin's up 3-0.
One of my favorite things about having the Badgers men's hockey team, Nick, be so good this year is I get to listen to a lot of Brian Posick highlights.
That's right, and Pose is one of the best to do it. We are very spoiled here in this state, as we often highlight across the board. You name a sport, we have incredible, both television, but more specifically radio voices.
100%. Saturday, men's hockey completed their 2-game sweep at Notre Dame, 9-2 the final score. Gavin Morrissey had 3 assists, but all 9 goals were scored by 9 different players.
I think that I heard via Pose during Saturday's contest that in the Mike Hastings era, the Badgers have scored 7 or more goals 3 times entering Saturday, all of them against Notre Dame. Now it's 4 times, all of them against Notre Dame.
Friday night in South Bend, Wisconsin won 7-4. They now go on their annual break. They're next in action as a team at the Quick Trip Holiday Classic in Milwaukee at the end of the month. Women's hockey, Mark Johnson's top-ranked Badgers sweep number 2 Ohio State on the road Friday and Saturday, 2-1 and then 6-1. In game 2, Kelly Gorbatenko had a couple of goals. Caroline Harvey with 2 assists. They go on their break as well. Some international play will take some of the Badgers stars away from Wisconsin. They'll return to action as a team in early January, but all of those players will be back after the Olympics, and we'll be back for what we all hope is another championship run. All right, let's move on from the ice to the hardwood. Men's basketball on Saturday.
Going to Rapp. Rotates to Rhodey on the left wing. Rhodey against Adrian Stevens. Now a double from Parham. Nice bounce, Rapp. Rapp left lane line. Out to Blackwell. Snaps off a 3. Right pocket. Book it.
Speaking of spoiled, the great Matt LePay on 1310 WIBA in Madison. Not much of an I-94 rivalry game. I know you were at this one, Nick. Wisconsin cruised past Marquette 96-76. When did you know that this was going to be a blowout?
I think you felt it pretty early. I think Wisconsin took a 21-9 lead early, and then that was the last time the following bucket for Marquette that it was within single digits. Wisconsin and Marquette, to be fair, both were really slow out of the gates. And we had our buddy Spencer Williams sitting alongside me up in the press area, and I said, whoever goes on a run here is going to run. And Wisconsin went on that run. Mm-hmm. John Blackwell was lights out once again in the first half and carried it to another 30-point game for him in his career here at Wisconsin. They are rolling, and I think that the other team on the other side might be looking at themselves in the mirror, Shaka Smart in particular, and asking himself, okay, maybe should I be more involved in the transfer portal?
Maybe.
Like, am I putting my guys in a position to succeed? Because they had 2 very impressive freshmen, Stevens and James, who played really well. but they're true freshmen, and they shouldn't be asked to be your second and third best player on a given night, and that's where they're at this moment.
In all, 5 Badgers scored in double digits on Saturday. Greg Gard's guys next play Wednesday night at Nebraska. By the way, it'll be you and me on the J&K Security Solutions basketball postgame show on 1310 WIBA afterwards. So
8 p.m. tip on the road in Lincoln.
It's going to be a late
no
night.
Connor Essegian, so that's a little bit of a disappointment. Fan favorite here for his time as a Badger. Essegian was a definite fan favorite his freshman year, and then his sophomore year when he wasn't playing as much, people were kind of pining for him to get in there. But it's going to be an offensive shootout, I think. They put up a lot of points, the Cornhuskers do, and Wisconsin is not going to run away from a shootout because I think that Wisconsin's one of the best offenses in the country. That'll be a fun one. I'm hopefully going to be talking about a victory with you afterwards.
Look forward to that. And can't get out of here without mentioning the women's basketball team as well. They pulled off the Kohl Center upset over 20th ranked Michigan State, 78-64 in their Big Ten opener. Giff Uchenna had 14 points and 15 rebounds. Ronnie Porter also a double-double, 12 and 11. Wisconsin off to a 7-3 start under first-year coach Robin Pinchton.
Yeah, incredible. I'm sorry, I laughed at something that caught my eye on X. But yes, Pinchton has been exceptional. They have turned the program into a consistent one. That is first and foremost what you need to do. They've used their resources well, the players that they've brought in, and those that stuck around, Lily Cron, Ronnie Porter. They are developing into really significant figures with this group. So absolutely fired up. Looking forward to how this season unfolds for Wisconsin. I do think I'm tempering my expectations still.
Sure.
But they have blown out what I have perceived to be their reality to this point.
I think everyone should take it all with a grain of salt because, number one, it's still early. And number two, and I don't know if it's because of Robin Pinchton. I don't know if it's because of the additional resources that the women's basketball program has in this NIL era that perhaps Marissa Mosley didn't have. But there was, also some controversy that followed Marissa Mosley the last couple of years at Wisconsin. They haven't been able to figure out this program in 2 decades. Wisconsin women's basketball program, you would think, you look at all of the things that the university has, even before the NIL era became a thing. And the Kohl Center is it's an outstanding facility. The Nicholas Johnson Pavilion is a great practice facility. As I like to say, it's Madison. And if you're living in Madison, Wisconsin, and you get to go to the University of Wisconsin, you're already standing on third base.
That's right.
Seemingly, you have all of the advantages. World-class city, world-class university, good facilities. The men's program is good. So basketball has been very good over the last 20, 25 years in Madison. You look at the other women's programs that have won national championship after national championship, hockey, volleyball. I just have been baffled as to why and how the Wisconsin women's basketball program has been as terrible. I'm going to be honest with you, has been as terrible as they've been for the last 25 years. Hopefully now, new coach, new players, new investments. It's early. We're only 10 games into this and 1 game in conference play into this. I'm hopeful that they can do what they also do in the program in men's basketball as well as the other women's sports that are so unbelievably successful at Wisconsin. I'm hopeful.
Absolutely. And you just think about how far, even if this season ends up being 500, but you still get to hang your hat on a victory like this.
Sure.
Beating 20th ranked Michigan State. Imagine what it would have been like in year 1 of Luke Fickell when they were sputtering, trying to figure out the air raid. Had they beaten a ranked opponent, right? It would have calmed a lot of nerves. And we got to this season without a ranked victory, and we got to November without a ranked victory. I just told you during the break for a football nugget here. They played 4 of the top 9 seeds in the college football playoff, including number 1, Indiana, number 2, Ohio State. They lost to them by 100 total points. But you're talking about a hell of a schedule. Had they picked off one of those, you'd feel a lot better. Thankful that they got a couple in November.
It's got to be the hardest schedule in all of college football.
If it's not the hardest, it's number 2. I mean, they played 1 million ranked teams. Iowa wasn't ranked when they played them. But other than that, you're talking about Michigan, Iowa, Ohio State, Oregon, Washington, Indiana, Illinois, all ranked, in my opinion. I know Iowa wasn't at the time. And you add in Alabama, that's 8 ranked teams.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm conflating it a little bit here because Iowa wasn't ranked, but let's be honest. I mean, they were like 26 or 27 at the time on the 25 teams. So Wisconsin played a hell of a schedule. They didn't perform well in it. They picked off a couple late at home, which is helpful. But as it stands now, we're focusing in on a lot of really successful Wisconsin programs, including both basketball teams at this moment, both hockey teams at this moment, and of course, volleyball, who's headed to the Sweet 16.
Yep, definitely. So hats off to Robin Pingeton and the early season success that she's had in her first year. And the thing about Robin Pingeton is she's had success in the past. And I know that when Marissa Mosley came in, she was an assistant coach under Gino Auriemma at UConn. It's not always easy to replicate that. I mean, we've seen, look, for example, at Bill Belichick and his assistants. Has he had, I'm trying to think who the most successful assistant coach that he has had that has gone on to head coach success, because you think about guys like Matt Patricia, who is just a better position coach or coordinator, offensive coordinator, than he is a head coach. Romeo Crennel is another one that didn't have any success with the Cleveland Browns. Josh McDaniels had a couple of stints as both an NFL head coach as well as an offensive coordinator. He had to go back and be the OC again in New England to rehab what had happened his first stint in Denver as a head coach. So I mean, it's I think difficult to just try to pluck someone that isn't that guy. You're not always going to get a Kirby Smart who was a Nick Saban assistant that goes on and does incredible things. You know what I mean? Sometimes you do, but I think it's almost more rare that you do get that assistant that gets the same or similar amount of success as their mentor, because it's hard to replicate for whatever reason. You think you have all the best intentions and it seems like it makes sense in the moment, but oftentimes for whatever reason, it just doesn't.
Think about all the guys, right, that were former Saban assistants that have become studs. I mean, off the top of my head, as you already highlighted, Kirby Smart, Kurt Cignetti,
but he
was there.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say Lane Kiffin, but he was already a head coach before he ever.
And Lane Kiffin became better once he got there.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, he became a better version of himself. So as it stands right now, exceptional, right? You're talking about 4 of the top 10 coaches in college football as it stands right now. Kirby Smart, Kurt Cignetti, Steve Sarkisian, and Lane Kiffin were all assistants to some capacity under Nick Saban.
What do you think of Cignetti?
Oh, I think he's incredible. And I think it's a shame that he didn't necessarily get his head coaching start until as late as he did. I think that this is, I was wholeheartedly anti-Indiana, anti-Cignetti ahead of this season, thinking it was a flash in the pan last year.
I don't know if it's a flash in the pan, but he's kind of a jag.
Oh, he's an obvious jag, but that's okay. I mean, I would take that over a nice guy who, you know what I mean, occasionally falls short. James Franklin seems like a D-bag, but he's like clearly a very nice guy and fell short in big games.
And then there's Fernando.
He is a very, very unique fella. And if we're going to jump into that, I'll play it for us if we want to here.
Yeah, I'll play it.
They won, of course, the Big Ten championship game over the weekend, defeating Ohio State in a low-scoring 13-10 battle. 10-7 or 13-10. Now I got to double check on that.
It was 13-10, wasn't it?
Double checking just for clarity. Yes, 13-10. For a moment, I had that flipped in my brain. Their kicker also, Ohio State's missed like a 27-yard field goal.
Yeah.
Egregious.
That didn't go over well in my house.
Oh, yeah. I totally forgot.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, I'm sure that was a horrendous moment. Well, horrendous moment is how some brandished this post-game interview with Fernando Mendoza on Fox. Here's how that interaction went, just over a minute long.
Oh, congratulations, Indiana, the Big Ten champs. How does that sound?
It sounds so beautiful. I want to give all the glory to God. We were never supposed to be in this position, but by the glory of God, the great coaches, great teammates, everyone we have around us, we were able to pull this off. Whoever thought the Hoosiers would be here, but now the Hoosiers are flipping champs. Let's go.
You guys call yourself a bunch of misfits who found the right home at Indiana. Why was this the right place for this group?
It's the right place. We're process-oriented. We're going day by day. Whether it's the offensive line, the defense, the coaches, special teams, we're all process-oriented to one goal. That's our thing, is we're brothers. We can drag teams into the deep end because we know that we're going to stick together and we're the strongest glue ever.
Tell me about finding Charlie Becker, 3rd down, 2 minutes to go. We talk about Heisman moments, but take me through that one.
Man, what an incredible, Charlie's been every single day in summer. We were always thrilled before practice, before at 7 a.m. on Sundays, doing spots, doing routes, and now you see it to come to fruition. He's my roommate. Couldn't be happy for such a young man as well as our defense playing lights out. And well, everybody just, what an incredible moment.
Congratulations. Enjoy it.
Thank you so much. God bless. Go Hoosiers.
He's 101, and I did see some funny tweets and posts on social media last night. Like, did he just lose the Heisman with that interview? Is he no longer a draft pick? Wouldn't be my quarterback. No chance that he's. It's like Kirk Cousins on drugs. Like, a lot of different things were being said about him. He is a very unique character, to say the least.
To say the least.
But, dude, whatever it takes to win. You pair that guy with Kurt Signetti, who gives you the opposite in interactions.
True. First of all, I have no qualm, zero qualm whatsoever with anybody, espousing their faith. God doesn't care who wins football games. God didn't pull that field goal. He didn't yank it. It's just, okay, yeah, I get it. But, it's like, that kind of grates me just a little bit because God just has bigger fish to fry than a football game. That having been said, I don't know if he hurt his draft stock at all. I mean, because they've got to go. First of all, you want a winner, right?
Right.
And the second part of that is every team is going to interview, that are in the market for a quarterback. They're going to interview this kid at the combine or with any of the pro days or any of the individual visits. He didn't hurt himself at all with that interview. Now, I think that opened some eyes that haven't seen him win a big game like that before, and just how, we'll say, over the top he was with it. I mean, that was, I was like, whoa, Fernando, might want to consider decaf, buddy.
Let's take a trip down memory lane. Last year, Cal had an emotional victory over Stanford late in the year. He was their quarterback. Here's how this interaction went on the ACC network.
Hey, first of all, I want to give all the glory to God. That was an amazing comeback. It's a testament how tough we are as a team. I love my boys. It's amazing. I'm so proud of everybody's team. We're 6-6. We're bold bound, and we retain the axe. Go Bears forever. Let's go.
You were so emotional right now, Fernando, in this moment. What's bringing out these emotions for you?
We worked so hard. We worked so hard for this. I apologize for getting emotional, but it's so hard. As an offense, we've done everything that we possibly could have throughout the summer to being down, having a close game. This has to be the most special moment in my life today.
Look around at these fans in this moment. What will you remember most from this victory today?
I remember going 98 yards with my boys. 98 yards. At that moment, we told them, this is why we did the camping trip. This is why we did every Saturday walkthrough. This is why we stayed late until 9 p.m. watching film together. And so that meant so much to me to go 98 yards against a defense that's been playing great. And we ended up scoring in the clutch.
Go Bears forever. By the way, peace out and go in Indiana.
I think that interview makes this weekend's interview more palatable and more likable because they won their 6th game there. Yeah. And he's in tears about how much it means to him to get that 6th win, to win the game for his boys, and to even just make a bowl game.
Yeah.
I know he didn't stay at Cal, but
Go Bears forever. I'm out.
I think it is worth noting in that game, he had 299 yards and 3 touchdowns. This dude's legit, and I couldn't care less. And I'm the guy sitting here wondering, once again, who the hell is going to be my team's quarterback at the NFL level for years to come? I mean, Rodgers played well yesterday, but is he going to be back? Is he going to be 43 next year? Otherwise, Steelers got to find a way to figure out who their future QB is going to be.
Maybe it's this guy.
Well, I find it hard. Maybe they would make some trades to get into the top 5, but this dude probably going to be the first quarterback off the board, and that's the problem. Steelers are never, as we highlighted, since 1970, haven't drafted in the top 5 in 55 years.
Good problem to have, I guess, right? Isn't it? Because
that's the debate,
good.
right?
Well, it means you're good.
It means you're okay. It means you're good enough.
Yeah.
There's no NFL draft lottery, so when they're 9-8 and either just make or don't make the playoffs, you are picking 17, 18, 19. That's the problem.
Yeah. Rancorp writes on the NicolayLaw.com talking text line 877-794-1973. Always open to you. Talking about Cignetti. He ain't no jag. He's an effing stud. Wish Fickle was. Listen, if he's your guy,
yeah.
I mean, that's what you want. He comes in there and we'll just say
he commands the room.
His ego, you know what I mean?
Sure.
It arrives about 5 minutes before he does. Put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? If you're a football coach, you kind of need that. It rubs a lot of people the wrong way. Guy wins, though.
Look what he's done.
That's what I said. He wins.
The assets that were blessed upon him by additional donors is one thing, but his ability to, even yesterday, 2 days ago, take advantage of, they're at a talent disadvantage against Ohio State. Mm-hmm. And they didn't look like they were at a talent disadvantage. They looked like they were the better team. That's why they won the game. So I got to give credit where credit's due. Cignetti is legit. Before the season, I said Indiana was going to fall back to the middle of the pack. They don't have what it takes. They took a couple of guys, and one of which from Wisconsin that became very impactful in the transfer portal. Riley Nowakowski had a good year for them. But they supplemented a roster that already had a bunch of JMU guys, and they made themselves into a title contender. They're the number one team for a reason. Cignetti's a huge part of that. I do think he's a little neurodivergent.
Yeah, it could be.
And maybe somewhere along the line, he's not your typical human being. But he's something special. I don't know what it is about him, but he gets players to go in there and play as well as they can. And he's a winner. Google him, right? Google him.
Maybe, and listen, I'm not a doctor. I don't purport to be a doctor. And this is in 0% anyway, any kind of criticism at all. I want to make that 1,000% clear. But if he is perhaps neurodivergent, it might make him a better quarterback because sometimes
I was talking about Cignetti, but yeah, Mendoza too.
Yeah, Mendoza. Well, maybe they both are, and just in different ways. But as far as Mendoza, it might make him focus a little. Maybe it makes them both focus just in different ways that manifest itself because they're such opposite personalities. Maybe they just manifest their neurodivergence, perhaps. Again, not a doctor, trying to not play one on the radio, but it might explain why they're so both focused on what the task at hand is. They just manifest it in different ways.
Absolutely. I'm fired up. I'm pulling for him. I mean, if I'm going to pull for our conference, the Big Ten, I'm pulling for Indiana.
Give a rip who wins. If my team's not in, I don't give a rip. I absolutely do not give a rip who. I never root. I never root for any conference. I don't root against somebody for 364 days a year and then root for them. One or two games here and there. Whoever wins is whoever wins. My teams aren't in it, so I don't give a rip. But that's just me.
That's fair.
That's just me. It is up the talk and text line, as many have. We'll spin through that coming up in just a few minutes. 877-794-1973. Also, Dave Gasper's going to join us coming up in a few minutes as well. So stay with us. It's D.N.D. D and N are here. The other D is going to join us coming up in a couple minutes from Orlando. Stay with us.
Too many troubles, all these lovers got you losing control. You like a joy to me, a luxury, my sugar and gold. I want your sex and your affection when they're holding you close.
Want to watch D.N.D? They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
There you go.
There we go.
Just search 97.3 The Game. The Packers earn a big win over the Bears to take over first place in the NFC North.
Toss Jacobs around the right end, has to beat Sweat. Cuts inside of him. Breaks free. 25-20, 15-10. Bulldozing down inside the 10 to the 6-yard line of Chicago. Byard got him down. 22-yard gallop. Snap. Give Jacobs up the middle. Burrow his way. End zone. And he is in. Yes. A touchdown. Josh Jacobs would not be denied. And the Packers lead 27-21.
We are basking in the glow of the win all day on The Game.
Let's all celebrate and have a good time.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1973.
In November of 73, Billy Joel's second album yields a minor hit with Piano Man, which goes to number 25.
Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right.
Ringo Starr continues his solo success with the number 2 album and 3 top 10 hits, including 2 number 1s, Photograph and You're 16. Meanwhile, John Lennon releases his 4th solo album, Mind Games, which goes to number 9 in the U.S. And in December, the single Taken Care of Business drives the second album by Canadian rock band Bachman Turner Overdrive to number 4. Emerson, Lake and Palmer released their 4th album, Brain Salad Surgery, which goes to number 11. And after passing away in a plane crash in September, Jim Croce has a posthumous number 1 with Time in a Bottle.
Looked around enough to know you're the one I want to go through time.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1973. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1967.
Van Morrison, formerly of the band Them, has a number 10 hit as a solo artist with Brown Eyed Girl. In July, LA band The Grassroots score their first top 10 hit with Let's Live for Today. And UK supergroup Cream, featuring guitarist Eric Clapton, toured the US for the first time.
In the sunshine of your love.
And in September, Janis Joplin's band Big Brother and the Holding Company signed with Columbia Records and released their debut album. October of 67, Memphis band The Box Tops, including 17-year-old gravel voice singer Alex Chilton, have a number 1 hit with The Letter.
Yeah, a ticket for an aeroplane. Ain't got time to take a fast train. Lonely days are gone, I'm a going home. My baby used to whip me a leather. My baby used to whip me a leather.
And in November, the first issue of Rolling Stone magazine is published in San Francisco, featuring an interview with John Lennon. The Who have their first and only U.S. top 10 hit with I Can See for Miles. In December, they smashed their instruments on the Smothers Brothers TV show.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1967. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1972.
In May, the Rolling Stones spend the year recording in southern France and released the double album Exile on Main Street. It goes to number 1 in both the U.S. and the U.K. California band the Doobie Brothers score a hit off their second album, Toulouse Street, with the single Listen to the Music. More from the summer of 72, Curtis Mayfield is back on the charts with a soundtrack for the film Superfly. The album yields 2 top 10 hits with Freddy's Dead and the title track. And former Zombies keyboardist Rod Argent has a hit album and a number 5 single in the US and the UK with Hold Your Head Up.
Hold your head up. Hold your head up. Hold your head up. Hold your head up.
Harry Chapin's performance of the song Taxi on The Tonight Show 2 nights in a row leads to a hit. And struggling UK band Mott the Hoop will get help from fan David Bowie, who produces their album and writes them a hit, All the Young Dudes, which peaks at number 3 in the UK and in the top 40 in the States.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1972. Coming up.
It's D.N.D. here on the Game Radio Network. Dave Gasper will join us live from Orlando coming up in just a few minutes. Rancourt writes back on my statement that I do not root for Big Ten teams when they are playing outside of the conference. And he said, no, let's see, what did he write? What about bowl games? No Big Ten allegiance? Nope, none. Zero. Never. And I know this has gotten me into trouble with my mother-in-law because she's a massive Ohio State fan. But she will root for the conference outside. And she gets on me all the time. It's like, well, you have to root for conference allegiance. And I'm like, I do not. No, I don't.
Well, you're a USC fan, so.
Well, yeah, I mean, and for years I had separation of church and state. I mean, I still love Wisconsin's athletics too. And so when it was Big Ten and Pac-12, and before that Pac-10, it's like I had separation between church and state. And that's the way I preferred it. The only time that these two teams up until I guess last year when they played at the Coliseum, not this past season, but the season prior, and they'll play next year at Camp Randall. The only time that they had played in my lifetime was in the Holiday Bowl, I don't know, about 7 or 8 years ago. And I hated that game. I hated watching my two favorite teams play against each other. It was miserable. People thought I would love it. I didn't. I hated every moment of it.
I guess that's interesting. Just to compare my perspective on Packers Steelers. Those are my two favorite teams. Steelers are my team. I am wholeheartedly rooting for the Steelers in that game. So I guess it just tells you where I am on the spectrum of my love for one or the other.
Yeah, that's fair. It was miserable for me. I did not. I mean, if I'm happy for one, it's like, it's the only thing that I can imagine is like two kids playing against each other. It's like when Mama Kelsey was watching the Super Bowl between the Chiefs and the Eagles. It's like, who do you root for? Who do you root against? It's like, you're happy for one, but you're sad for the other. And that's where I was
mom
with
and
that
dad.
game. Oh, I hated it.
The Harbaugh parents.
Harbaugh parents in the Super Bowl. Yeah, absolutely. When there was the Ravens and the 49ers.
That's right.
So to answer Rancorp's question, no.
That's
right. I just don't. I do not. Whoever wins the national championship from here on out, I couldn't give two rips about because my teams aren't in it. When my teams are in it, I'll root. I'll have a rooting. I'll watch the games. I will be interested in the games. I had a listener yesterday in Green Bay. It's like, well, you got to have a rooting interest in some of these teams that you got to watch. If there's nothing to root for in a game, why are you watching? It's like, because I just enjoy the game.
That's right.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, talking about answering questions.
There you go. Good segue. I was just about to head to it, but you beat
Matt
me to
Arnold answered some questions from our guy Dave Gasper.
All right, there he goes. Bruce.
Sorry, just hugging it out on the way.
When you're president, busy guy, Matt, but appreciate you taking the time here. First of all, it's the winter meetings, the time where breaking news happens. Do you have any breaking news you'd like to share right off?
No, I'm currently breaking news as I'm walking with Mike Vassallo through the lobby, which is daunting. I'll be honest. Yeah,
I'm sure.
Yeah,
a lot of traffic
here. That's right. That is our mantra.
For sure. All right, so winter meetings. You've done your kind of off-season prep. Prep here for the off-season. What's on your to-do list to get done here?
Yeah, I mean, look, I just landed and my bag hasn't gotten here yet, so I'm just trying to figure out like where I am standing at the moment. But no, we're going to get a sense of what the market looks like when we're here, and we want to try to get better. We won 97 games last year, but didn't get to the World Series and didn't get to where we wanted to be. So that's our focus. Just continue to work on getting the players and just making sure we can try to win a championship for Milwaukee.
You got one of those players back, Brandon Woodruff, accepting the qualifying offer. Were you a little bit surprised that he accepted? But overall, how excited are you to have him back?
I don't know about surprise. I mean, look, I think I'm thrilled to have him back, though. I mean, he's one of the best people and not just best people, but just like one of the best pitchers in big games I've ever seen, So to have that guy back is really exciting. And then, again, it's just a huge credit to our ownership group for supporting us, to bring him back. That's great.
Yeah, Ricky Weeks now moving from the dugout to your front office. How excited are you for his new role and what he'll be doing?
It's going to be awesome. Yeah, Ricky's the best. He's going to really impact a lot of different people in this role, and I'm excited to partner with him more. I mean, he's just been a huge part of our franchise for a lot of years, and to have him in this new role and just exposed to more things and just impacting more spaces is going to be a lot of fun.
So with Ricky leaving the dugout and also Connor Dawson heading to Kansas City, two openings from the coaching staff, are you close to making any decisions on bringing new coaches in?
Yeah, still working on it. This time of year, there's a lot of things going on with coaching staffs. There's permission calls, and we, obviously we have to do what we can to backfill Ricky in his role as well. So we're working through a lot of those things at the moment, and hope to have an announcement hopefully in the very near future.
All right, and lastly here, as we've been walking and talking, how many phone calls or texts do you think you've missed on Freddie Peralta?
Probably one or two, yeah. Probably. I mean, he's a very popular name at the moment. He's definitely a guy that a lot of teams like, and, we do too.
All right, there you go. A couple minutes with Dave Gasper and Matt Arnold, Brewers general manager and president of baseball operations. So, yeah, he just landed. He was walking through the lobby of the hotel down there in Orlando. Dave Gasper will join us live from Orlando coming up on the other side. Keep him coming on the talk and text line, 877-794-1973, including Madtown Ryan. He writes, all right, guys, I need help. My Jordan Love jersey is 7-0 this season. Do I wear it next week against Denver or save it for Chicago? I vote you ride it.
Yeah.
Ride it out, man. Make it 8-0 before you hit Chicago, because that's a big game coming up next. That's a potential Super Bowl preview, maybe. A lot of ball game. There's like 7 games to go before the Super Bowl anyway. But that's what we do in the media. We speculate. And that's going to be a huge game that's going to have huge eyeballs on it coming up next week. But up first, we will check in, like I said, with Dave on the other side. It's D.N.D. I'm Doug. He's Nick. Stay with us on the Game Radio Network.
Keep you like an oath, and nothing but death do us part.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
D.N.D. will be back in just a moment. First place in the NFC North now belongs to your Green Bay Packers.
Here's the snap. Blitz on. They pick it up initially. Lofts the middle. Going for Watson.
Yes.
Got it. Touchdown. Green Bay Packers. Christian Watson took it away from Kevin Byard, and the Packers strike first. 23-yard touchdown pass.
This is a game that means a lot to everybody. It's an NFC North matchup. Obviously, Bears are number 1 seed, so it's a huge game. And like I said, we'll see these guys here in a couple weeks again.
Doug, Nick, and Dave are reacting to the win over the Bears all day on the game.
iHeartRadio.
Here are the top Blondie songs that you've thumbed up.
Number 3.
One Way or Another.
One way or another, I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna get you one day, maybe next week. I'm gonna meet you. I'll meet you.
Number 2. Heart of Glass.
In between, what I find is pleasing and I feel it fine. Love is so confusing, there's no peace of mind. If I fear I'm losing you, it's just no good. You're cheesing like liver.
Number 1. Call Me.
Emotions come, I don't know why. Cover up love's alibi. Call me on the line. Call me, and it's time.
Hear more from Blondie and similar artists now. Search for Blondie on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1975.
In June of 75, the Bee Gees released the LP Main Course, featuring a more dance-oriented sound, and delivered 3 hit singles, including the number 1 Jive Talkin'. In July, Fleetwood Mac shake things up. They add Americans Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks to the lineup and have a number 1 album. And Wings released the album Venus and Mars, which goes to number 1. Their U.S. tour features Paul McCartney's first live appearance in the U.S. since 1966.
I love this pain for all we know. For all we know, our love will grow. That's what the man said. So won't you listen to what the man said? He said.
In August of 75, the Eagles' 4th album goes to number 1 and has 3 top 5 singles, including the number 1 title track, One of These Nights. And the boss, Bruce Springsteen, is featured on the cover of Time magazine, and Born to Run becomes his breakthrough album, reaching number 3 in the U.S.
Come on with me, chance like us. Baby, we were born to run.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1975. Coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1967.
Try to set the night on fire.
In In January of 1967, Los Angeles band The Doors released their debut album, which eventually goes to number 2, and features the single Light My Fire, which goes to number 1 in July. The Rolling Stones released Ruby Tuesday, an ode to a groupie written by Keith Richards. The song takes them number 1 in the U.S. in March. And San Francisco band The Jefferson Airplane released the surrealistic Pillow album, scoring 2 top 10 hits with White Rabbit and Somebody to Love.
Don't you want somebody to love? Don't you need somebody to love? Would you love somebody to love? You better find somebody to love.
In March of 67, Buffalo Springfield re-releases their debut album to include the hit single For What It's Worth. In April of 67, Give Me Some Lovin' by the Spencer Davis Group goes to number 7 in the U.S., with vocals by 17-year-old Steve Winwood. And in May, Elvis Presley marries his 21-year-old girlfriend Priscilla in Las Vegas. In May, Mitch Ryder hits number 4 with Devil with a Blue Dress, Good Golly Miss Molly. And the Jimi Hendrix Experience released their debut in the UK. In July, they toured the U.S. as the opening act for the Monkees in support of the U.S. album release.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1967 coming up.
iHeartRadio is the easy-to-use app for music and radio. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
Animals need friends. For a list of 10 easy things you can do to brighten their lives, please write People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. That's Peter, Norfolk, Virginia, 23510. Thanks.
Baby, you a song, you make me wanna roll my windows down and cruise.
Welcome back in. It's D.N.D. here on the Game Radio Network. Well, one guy who's crossed. See, I did this for him. He likes country music and he likes tying everything together. Somebody who has crossed the Florida-Georgia line is our guy, Dave Gasper, who joins us live from Orlando. He is at the winter meetings. We just heard from Dave and his walk and talk with Matt Arnold. Dave, have you floated down the lazy river at the JW Marriott yet in Orlando?
First of all, Doug, well done on the bump music. Very, very appreciative of that. I have not floated on the lazy river yet. We're over here actually at the Signia by Hilton in the Waldorf Astoria, where they've set a lot of this up. There is some stuff at the JW Marriott as well, but I'm also looking at pools and fountains out over here. I don't see a lazy river, but I will definitely be checking it out at some point here during this trip.
Excellent. So your walk and talk with Matt Arnold, we just heard from, as you know. What did you glean and what have you gleaned from the short time that you've been down there so far, aside from what we just heard a couple minutes ago?
Yeah, it seems like, everyone's really just kind of getting settled here. It's the first day of the meetings. Everything's just kind of getting going. The front office is getting down here. Arnold's still, he's going to be getting a sense of the market and where things are on, Freddie Peralta, and there are other positions of need for this roster. And really just kind of seeing where everyone is at, getting settled, and things will really, I think, ramp up here over the next couple of days as everyone's in town.
Dave, what are the winter meetings for those that are unfamiliar? Like, what is it that you can glean? Who are you able to interact with? What have you been able to do? And what do you think you're going to be able to do in the coming days?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like interacting, I mean, you can interact with basically everyone in baseball that's here. I mean, it's all the front offices, it's all the media that's here. So I mean, you can see just about everyone. I mean, you'll see some former players as well. I ran into Brett Phillips, former Brewer. He's looking for a gig somewhere around baseball. I ran into Keon Broxton as well. He's looking for a coaching gig in Major League Baseball, first base, base running, outfield coach. So like you run into players like that, people like that around here. Also, by the way, you run into some other old friends. Matt Pauley says hello, Doug.
Oh, Matt Pauley! One of my favorites. Now with the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So he's here, covering them. So yeah, it's basically just kind of the center of the baseball universe with everyone here. Now, like they've got some for like the actual like MLB executives. They have actual like meetings that they'll break out and do. Like they've had like farm director breakout meetings. They have travel director meetings. They've got all this other stuff for different front office types. But yeah, all the GMs down here, all the agents, a bunch of the players, and it's a chance to get everyone all in one room and get to talking, and that'll help get some deals together.
Very nice. Yeah, it's also a job market down there as well. Matt
Yeah.
Bailey, formerly Brewers Extra Innings, now he's had some opportunities to do some play-by-play on KMOX for the Cardinals radio network. So
yeah, no, he's doing fantastic down there. So I was able to catch up with him for a few minutes. So yeah, he's doing great. And he wanted to make sure he said hello.
Excellent, love that. In terms of what the market is, I know that you mentioned this with Matt Arnold while you were talking to him, and kind of joking about what how many text messages and phone calls that he's missed in terms of Freddie Peralta. I have trouble believing that the Brewers are going to retreat, considering that they did win, as he said, 97 games last year. Where do you feel like the rest of baseball kind of looks at the Brewers as just kind of that was just kind of a jump up, and I can't believe that they won 97 games, or do they believe that this franchise is for real?
I think the rest of the league believes that the Brewers are for real. I mean, they've seen it year in and year out, how they are able to do more with less. I mean, they continually vote Matt Arnold as Executive of the Year. I mean, seeing what he's able to do after losing Willie Adames, after trading away Devin Williams, to be able to somehow get even better, to win more games, to put up the best record in baseball, make it to the NLCS. So the rest of baseball knows that the Brewers have something really special going on with their team, with their front office. So they certainly have the respect for them. But I think also, I mean, when it comes to Freddie Peralta in that trade, they also recognize the Brewers' history of trading players with a year to go before free agency, especially pitchers. So they're going to look to try and say, hey, look, I mean, we know that you guys are good and you plan to be good, but you've traded away Corbin Burns and somehow we're still good. You traded away Josh Hader and we're still good, except for, the second half of that season. But so they're going to still look at that as potentially an opportunity that the Brewers might be open to, because historically they have in the past. Ultimately, I don't think Peralta does get moved, but we're going to see how the starting pitcher market ends up shaping up here. And, as Arnold pointed out, I mean, they certainly love having him on their team.
Dave, when you are down there and you're interacting with people from across the country, certainly, maybe even some from the globe, depending on how vast the media interest is there, does something stick out to you? Is there a buzz about a specific team that takes command? Is it maybe, I don't know, how many Japanese reporters have you seen there?
There have been a couple for sure. We'll see how much that keeps on ramping up. But there's a bit of an international flavor as well. You have a couple of Japanese players that are being posted this off season that are sure to draw some interest. So there's certainly a bit of that. But you're getting coverage from all over the place, and it's just kind of a really special thing to see basically all of the baseball world here in one spot.
What are you hoping to learn more than anything else while you're down there, whether it's about the Brewers or anybody else?
Well, what I'm hoping to learn is really just kind of where this offseason is going to, continue to go, how this NL Central race is going to end up shaping up, what the Brewers do. The Cubs and Cardinals are figured to be active as well. The Pirates are apparently looking to spend a ton of money this offseason. I saw that they're interested. I know. I was just as shocked as you. Apparently, they have an offer out to Kyle Schwarber that's over 4 years and over $100 million.
Wow.
Now, again, when it comes to the Pirates spending, I'll believe it when I see it. When they actually get someone to sign over there. But still, they're going to be trying to make it interesting. The Reds made the playoffs this past year, so. Really, it's going to be something that, I'm excited to see how those teams end up trying to improve their rosters, because the Cubs are likely losing Kyle Tucker. And you got the Cardinals that are trying to start a rebuild. You got the Reds that are right there with the playoffs. You got the Pirates that are apparently going to try now. So we'll see what the Brewers do to kind of, ensure that they're able to stay on top and make it a four-peat in the NL Central.
Dave, who are you hanging with down there? Is it Kurt Hogue? And how much trouble are you guys going to get into over the next couple of nights?
Well, it's actually just Adam McCalvey that I just spent the past, 10 minutes or so, talking with right before here. Just kind of walking around, getting the lay of the land here at the hotel. So, No, Kurt, it's Todd Rosiak from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel that's down here. I actually just saw him walking by a few minutes ago as well. But, so we'll be hanging out with them. We'll see, if Mike Fasal or any of the other, Brewers PR people are hanging around. But, we'll see what kind of trouble we can get into once we get to the hotel bars here later at night.
Fun fact, Todd Rosiak is my neighbor, believe it or not. So...
Oh wow! Yeah. There we go.
I didn't shovel his driveway.
Is he a good neighbor?
I never see him. I've seen him like once. I've seen him once.
Okay.
So that's how I know he's a good neighbor. I never see him. I see him at the ballpark, but
I'll have to ask Todd if you're a good neighbor.
Okay. I don't think
that might be the real question.
I don't think he's ever seen me in the neighborhood. I've encountered him like a couple of times on his walk, but that was about it. But he's a good neighbor because listen, nowadays,
is it a balds only neighborhood?
Yes, it is. That's it is a balds only neighborhood. We live in a special community of bald people.
Yeah.
Dave, stay out of trouble. We'll check in with you tomorrow. And don't I don't want any bail, any phone calls for bail money in the middle of the night. Okay.
Okay. No promises though on the bail money. We'll see what happens.
Fair enough. All right. There he is, Dave Gasper, joining us live from the winter meetings in Orlando as the week goes on. So he'll be there tomorrow, as well as Wednesday before he comes back on Thursday. At some point, I want to know whether or not they're talking about the collective bargaining agreement. Is that a topic of discussion? I know he just got down there. Maybe, in the next couple of days, it might become more of a topic of discussion because, the Pittsburgh Pirates talking about spending money. Now, Kyle Schwarber has to agree to a contract with the Pittsburgh Pirates because I think that if that's the only place that's going to give you $25 million plus a year, I guess you're going to take it. But I got to think that there's going to be more takers for Kyle Schwarber than just Pittsburgh, I would think, right?
Definitely. And I think the point of the whole Schwarber-Pittsburgh thing is, look, we're trying to spend money here. No need for a salary floor. We're trying.
Well, they're
not trying very hard. $100 million for that guy?
They're not trying hard enough. We'll put it that way. Coming up in the next hour, we're going to check in with Dominique Yates, multimedia Packers beat reporter. Saw him in the locker room yesterday after last night's Packers 28-21 victory over the Chicago Bears. We'll get back into some more Bears Packers talk because they will meet again in 12 days. The rest of the schedule, not easy for Green Bay. They've only got 4 games left. And so far, they've gotten through. They're the number 2 seed just behind the Rams right now in the NFC playoffs. But again, as bunched up as this division is, and as this conference is, mentioned it earlier in the show, the Bears went from the number 1 seed in the NFC to the 7th seed after 1 game. That's how bunched up this thing is. So every game's critical, and the Packers' schedule the rest of the way out is daunting because you've got the rematch with the Bears in Chicago. You got to hit the road and play the Broncos next week. I don't know what to make of the Vikings. They just demolished the Commanders 31-0.
Chances are they'll be better at home. So
chances are they'll be better at home. As a matter of fact, I concur on that. And then they've got, as you mentioned, perhaps a desperate Baltimore Ravens team to end off the regular season home portion of their schedule. So a lot of ball game left, as they say. We are hitting the halfway point here on D.N.D. Doug Russell, Nick Bruzewitz. You just heard from Dave Gasper. He's in Orlando. Halfway home here on The Game. Stay with us.
You ain't supposed to be here. Sign said you got to have a membership card to get inside.
Let's relive the best moments from the Packers' win over the Bears.
Here's the snap. Blitz on. They pick it up initially. Lofts the middle. Going for Watson.
Yes.
Got it. Touchdown. Green Bay Packers. Christian Watson took it away from Kevin Byard, and the Packers strike first. 23-yard touchdown pass. In the shotgun, here's the snap. Jordan Love. Blitz on. They pick it up. Good block that time from the running back. Love, rainbows, middle. Wide open.
Yes.
It is a touchdown for Bo Melton. Yes. A touchdown. 45 yards. Tight end standing up left side of the line on second down. Quick toss into the crowd. Ball broken up, incomplete. 10 into the play for Moore. Keyshawn Nixon literally blew it up. Long count. Here's the snap. Rashawn Williams looking. Flush. Rolling right. Chased by Rashawn Gary. To the sidelines. Throws it away down the right side.
All right.
Fakes the handoff. Quick throw.
There
on
we
Wilkins.
go.
Got Watson cutting left. To the 20. To the 15. To the 10. To the house. To the touchdown. Christian Watson. When 9 equals number 1 receiver. Under center, Jordan Love on 1st and 10 at the Green Bay 46. And he fakes the handoff, back to throw. Love lofts, right side, going for Reed. He's got it. Far sidelines, they beat C.J. Gardner-Johnson to the Chicago 36-yard line. Toss Jacobs around the right end, has to beat Sweat. Cuts inside of him, breaks free, 25-20, 15-10, bulldozing down inside the 10 to the 6-yard line of Chicago. Byard got him down. 22-yard gallop. Snap, give Jacobs up the middle, burrowing his way, end zone, and he is in. Yes, a touchdown. Josh Jacobs would not be denied. And the Packers lead 27-21. They get motion to the tight end to the right. Fake to Swift, bootlegging left. Williams looking, floats the end zone. It's intercepted. Interception. A leaping interception by Keyshawn Nixon. And there is your dagger. In a Lambeau leap to the south end zone stand. 22 seconds ago, and the Packers have hung on. The Packers will hang on. They will take the lead in the NFC North, heading to the final month of the season. And a rematch with these Bears in 2 weeks in Chicago. Love drops to a knee, and that will do it. The 211th meeting between the Packers and Bears. What an epic battle this was. Won by Green Bay 28-21.
You are listening to the home of the best Packers coverage, The Game.
Celebration to last throughout the years. So bring your good times.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1978.
In June of 78, Darkness on the Edge of Town is released. Bruce Springsteen's follow-up to his breakthrough album, Born to Run. The album charts at number 5.
In the darkness on the edge of town. In the darkness on the edge of town.
Boston-based band The Cars released their debut album. It goes to number 18. It features the singles Just What I Needed and My Best Friend's Girl.
She's my best friend's girl. But she used to be mine.
In July of 78, the Rolling Stones released Some Girls in the U.S. The album and the single Miss You both hit number 1. In August of 78, Boston released their sophomore album, Don't Look Back. The album goes to number 1 in the U.S., selling 4 million copies in its first month.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1978. Coming up.
Classic Cuts.
Inspiration can strike musicians in the strangest places. Paul McCartney says the idea for writing the Beatles' Hey Jude came to him en route to a visit with John Lennon's ex-wife and son. Of course, the boy's name wasn't Jude, but Julian.
I was just going out to say hello to Cynthia and Julian. And I started coming up with these words. In my own mind, I was kind of talking to Julian. So I kind of got the first sort of idea on the way out there with this Hey Jules, as I thought it was going to be called. It seemed a little bit of a mouthful, so I changed it to Jude.
Hey Jude, don't make it bad. Take a sad song and make it better. Remember to let her into your heart. Then you can start to make it better.
Attention, please. We are The Gang and the home of D.N.D. with Doug, Nick, and Dave. Weekdays from 10 to 2, live 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. Watch the show on YouTube, Facebook, and X by searching 97.3 The Game.
Drop it. He's very knowledgeable, very intelligent guy, very personable guy.
Here's Doug Russell.
All right, the 211th meeting between the Packers and the Bears, lived up to the hype.
Love in the shotgun, takes the snap, fakes the handoff, quick throw, and look at got Watson cutting left to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, to the house, to the touchdown. Christian Watson, when 9 equals number 1 receiver.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's just a good read by Jay Love. I mean, we had a run alert tagged for that play. I was blocking. He saw that they were in man right away. He gave us a quick signal, and we made the most out of it.
That was 1 of 2 touchdowns for Christian Watson, and all he caught 4 balls for 89 yards and those 2 scores. What about Wayne Larravee's statement there at the end of that highlight that 9 equals number 1 wide receiver?
I love it. They have to have one. As much as they want to maintain a level of, I think, sportsmanship, that's not the right word, but mystery for the opponent, like who's our guy, you got to have one that you can count on. And Watson has stepped up to be that guy for me.
This has been such a strange season offensively for me because I do believe that it should be Christian Watson. I've said for a while that if Christian Watson is healthy, and that's been the only issue, but since he came back from the torn ACL several weeks ago, he has been. He got 4 targets. Now he caught all 4 balls. 2 of them went for scores, and those are the highlights. I get all of that. I just think he needs more targets if he's going to be a true number 1 wide receiver. Matthew Golden played, I guess, a little bit yesterday.
Yeah.
Not much.
I didn't say, and I still won't say he's a bust.
Rookie season. Nobody's a bust for the rookie season.
Earlier this year, he was trending in a direction where it was certainly underwhelming. And it's been a very underwhelming campaign for Matthew Golden.
He was targeted once.
Injuries have hampered him. Absolutely. But I mean, where does he fit in their current iteration of their offense? And he may not until next year when you lose a guy like Dobbs. But
yeah, because Romeo was only targeted twice. So here's the target list from yesterday's game. Watson was targeted 4 times, caught all 4, 89 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jaden Reed coming back from injury, which was nice to see, targeted 4 times, caught all 4 balls, which was great. Luke Musgrave targeted 4 times, caught 2 of those. John Fitzpatrick targeted 2 times. Josh Jacobs out of the backfield, two targets. Bo Melton caught a touchdown pass, 45-yarder, targeted twice. This is just how many times that Jordan Love throws the ball their way. Wiley once. Brooks once. Dobbs, as I mentioned, twice. Matthew Golden was targeted once. I listen, spreading the ball around is great. Is it, though?
Yeah, I think there's value in not necessarily being exclusive to one target. I think Rodgers, towards the end of his time here, got that way with Adams.
He was that's the polar
right,
opposite.
There's
you don't
two.
want
There's
that.
Opposite end of the spectrum, absolutely. And I think Love at this point, his character is that of a very upstanding guy, a team first guy, teammates first dude.
100%.
And I think that at this point in his career, his mentality is, I'm trying to appease everybody. I can get everyone some. And that's the problem. I think that they have organized their offense in a way that works. But to take it to the next level, I think you need to have one guy that just goes off. And Watson's the closest, in my opinion.
I think Christian Watson needs twice as many targets as he's getting.
Well, that means they got to throw the ball more. The Bears did a great job of limiting the possessions yesterday.
Yeah,
they had 7 more minutes of time of possession than the Packers. Second half was just all Bears on the field. But at the end of the day, the Packers made the most of their opportunities. That last possession for them, Jacobs, was massive. And they got the run game going to a degree. I just don't know if we've seen the full picture on offense, if it's going to be enough.
Yeah, the Packers averaged 4.5 yards per carry in yesterday's game. That's good. I mean, that's winning football right there. Josh Jacobs, to your point, 20 carries for 86 yards. averaged 4.3 yards, including that touchdown.
He had
and he ran hard.
He had 121-yard carry. So then you're talking about 19 carries for 65 yards. That's not as impressive. But you take it for what they did, and what they did was 86 yards for Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs moved the pile, though. That's the thing. I mean, he didn't have great blocking. He had a lot of run after contact in yesterday's game. So, I mean, I don't need him to get 150 yards a game. I don't think that's his game, but he's such a power back that when he did run, he was effective. And yes, you do take away the 21-yarder, then it's 19 carries for, math is hard, 65 yards.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it boosts the average.
3.4 a carry.
Okay.
He hasn't had massive running lanes all year long.
No, he hasn't.
I mean, it's just been his reality, is trying to make the most of what he gets, and he does that better than most.
Mm-hmm. This one, of course, went down to the wire, but a Keyshawn Nixon end zone interception of a Caleb Williams fourth down heave sealed it. 28-21, the final score. The Bears, they lose. They fall from the number 1 spot in the playoffs to the number 7 spot in the playoffs with 4 games left. The Packers, they jump up to number 2 right behind the Rams. The Packers now 9-3-1 on the season. The Bears 9-4. So right now, Green Bay a half game in front of Chicago. That is how close things are in the NFC playoffs. All right, some other games of note in the NFL on Sunday. The Vikings, they clobber the Commanders. Washington is lost right now. I know they've had some injury issues to their quarterback. I get it. 31-0, the final score. The Commanders now 3-10 on the season. Also, the Jaguars, they beat the slumping Colts 36-19. Jacksonville 9-4. Liam Cohen, coach of the year. It's kind of direct. You know, I can't be mad at that if that's going to be the case. They're actually a pretty good team.
Yeah, Vikings are really an interesting group. Their defense definitely showed up yesterday, and you saw at least a glimpse of what they thought JJ is as a prospect, as an NFL quarterback. I mean, he played well. They played well as a group, and this is what I think most Vikings fans anticipated would be maybe closer to their average this year.
Mm-hmm.
But as it stands, this is an anomaly for them on what has been a challenging campaign.
Definitely. Also, the Saints, they beat the Buccaneers 24-20 at Raymond James Stadium. That's an upset as the Buccaneers fall to 7-6. The Saints now 3-10 on the season in Kellen Moore's first year. How many he's going to get? Don't know. As head coach in New Orleans.
What an interesting win, too, right? So Tyler Shuck, they draft him this year. They had opportunities to go Shador if they wanted.
So did everybody else, famously, through 5 rounds.
Yeah, and Shador, man, he had a good game yesterday.
Yeah, he did. Shador's actually, I mean, maybe he can play in this league. Who's to say?
But the thing is, you know, you kind of push yourself out of that top spot on the draft order, right? So you had an opportunity, lose that game. No one's planning on losing games. But you lose that game, you stay in the top 3, I believe, maybe even number 1 with all the tiebreakers. They win. Now they are the 5th pick. It's very interesting. If the season ends today, the Giants have the number 1 pick in the draft.
Interesting. Well,
and
that's why they play the games. There's 4 more left.
I don't know. I do not know who will end up there. I know that there are plenty of QB needy teams. This thing is cyclical. It feels like every year you're like, well, there aren't many teams that need quarterbacks. And then it's like, okay, well, the Cardinals are probably moving off of Kyler Murray.
Yeah, they are.
The Giants have their guy, but Las Vegas doesn't. Does Tennessee? Are you convinced enough with Cam Ward?
Rookie
have
season.
to give him. Have to give him another shot.
I agree.
Cleveland, they just named Shador their starter the rest of the year, which makes a lot of sense. But after that, you start wondering, okay, where do these quarterbacks go? What do teams need at the top of the order? The Giants don't need a quarterback, so if they end with the first pick, they're going to get a haul for it from a quarterback needy team. Very intriguing. And as it stands right now, the Kansas City Chiefs will be drafting 14th.
Interesting.
Which is wild.
It is.
They have run this league for the last 8 years.
College football, the playoff matchups have been set. Your top 4 seeds, these are the teams that get the byes in order. Now, 2 years ago, if you would have said that Indiana was going to be the number 1 team in the country after the regular season and after the conference championship games, you would have been fitted for a straitjacket. But here we are. Indiana, followed by Ohio State, thrilling Big Ten championship game in Indianapolis, followed by Georgia at number 3, and then Texas Tech at number 4. They get the byes. Your round 1 matchups, James Madison playing at Oregon. Oklahoma hosts Alabama. Tulane is at Ole Miss. Texas A&M hosts Miami. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's interesting that you don't get Notre Dame. They decide that they don't want to play football anymore this year as a result. So their season is over. They declined their bowl bid. I don't love the fact that the team, plural, 4, that had the best years now have to sit on their hands for nearly a month before they get to play another football game. Like, you're trying to play a playoff system here.
Yep.
And you're staring at the fact that, okay, now you have to wait that many weeks to even be able to get back out there on the field. Last year, all 4 of the bye teams lost in their first game.
Isn't that
So
crazy?
It will be very, very intriguing how they fare this year. But the new system at which that they have configured these top seeds is better. Last year, they only had the 4. I think they had the 3 Power 4 teams, and then Boise State was a bye team. And it's this year, it doesn't matter what conference you're in. You're just the top 4. You got 2 Big Ten teams with byes. But if I'm Georgia, I'm feeling pretty damn good.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the only thing that that needs to be considered is who are the 12 best teams in the country.
Right.
Is James Madison one of the 12 best teams in the country?
Well, and that's the thing. As you stare at this bracket, as you look at this bracket, right? Georgia, the 3 seed, will get the winner of Tulane and Ole Miss. Ole Miss operating without their head coach.
Yep.
Tulane. I mean, I'm sorry. They're a great team. And if they win that game, credit to them. They're not going to beat Georgia. If I'm Indiana, well, you got to be kidding me. I mean, we're the number 1 team. Shouldn't we get the best potential second round draw? I don't want Alabama or Oklahoma. I get it that they are lesser on paper than Ole Miss and Tulane, but you got to take things into consideration here.
Yes, you do.
I mean, Ole Miss is going to be without their head coach.
Yeah. Which, I think that it's got at some point, because college football has never more resembled professional football, you're going to have contracts irrespective of transfer portals, irrespective of when kids can enroll in school. Something's going to have to change, because they're at a breaking point right now in college athletics where all of these coaches, and this is just the way that it's always been done, are leaving before their seasons are over, and kids are leaving before their seasons are over. At some point, these contracts have to mean something, and you can't move before the season is over. We're not there yet, and I understand the reasons why. I just don't like the reasons why, and I think it can be fixed. There's nothing that can't be fixed, and Lane Kiffin should still be the head coach at Ole Miss. And if you wanted to move to LSU after the season is over, you move the transfer portal and you just make the changes that are going to be necessary to make. But this is where we're at right now, and I think it sucks. I think it sucks for the kids. I think it sucks for the fans. I think it sucks. It just sucks all the way around. But yeah, I get why. I just don't like. I just don't like it as an answer. All right, let's move on to the hardwood for a moment. Saturday at the Kohl Center.
Here's Blackwell with 4 to shoot. Rhodey, deep 3, right side, straight through. Oh, long threes, no problem for Andrew Rhodey. 82-56, Wisconsin.
John Blackwell, 30 points. Wisconsin hammers Marquette by 20, 96-76. The Badgers next in action Wednesday night at Nebraska. Join me and Nick Brusewitz on the J&K Security Solutions Basketball Postgame Show on 1310 WIBA in Madison or on the iHeartRadio app. Hopefully
it's going to be
a nice big win.
It's going to be an opportunity for Wisconsin to continue to build off of some of the recent momentum that they have established. They won a Big Ten opener against Northwestern last Wednesday, and then they win the rivalry game by a margin that hasn't been touched in a very long time. I'll get to that in Bruiser's Bites coming up, but this is a team that can score and score and score and score. It's all about the Badgers maintaining some level of consistency defensively, first and foremost, and secondly, finding themselves in a position where they get enough from their big men, because I think those guards are going to put up 40 plus a night between Boyd and Blackwell. You've got to find yourself to another 50 points nightly to guarantee a win, but 80 is that mark where they've been put all year long, averaging just about 80 points a game.
Couple of quick hitters. Women's basketball on Sunday. Wisconsin upsets 20th ranked Michigan State 78-64 in their Big Ten opener. And the volleyball Badgers, they cruise into the Sweet 16 once again. They sweep North Carolina in the second round of the NCAA tournament Friday night at the Fieldhouse. This week, a tall task. They travel to Austin to take on Stanford on Friday starting at 1:30. All right, Dominique Gates from The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel covers the Packers. Multimedia journalist, saw him at Lambeau Field yesterday. He's going to join us coming up at 12:35. We'll hear from Micah Parsons coming up straight ahead. Stay with us. The talk and text line open to you as well. We'll spin through that once again. It's D.N.D. Doug and Nick. Dave's in Orlando. Stay with us on the game.
Want to watch D.N.D? They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
There you go.
There we go.
Just search 97.3 The Game. The Packers earn a big win over the Bears to take over first place in the NFC North.
Fake to Swift, bootlegging left Williams looking to floats the end zone. It's intercepted! Interception! A leaping interception by Keyshawn Nixon. And there is your dagger in a Lambeau leap to the south end zone stand. 22 seconds to go, and the Packers have hung on.
We take the lead right there, and you're just hoping the defense is able to get a stop and be able to stop their drive. And they put a couple good plays together, and we're moving it. And then those moments, that's when you need your best players to go out there and make a big time play to be able to end it. And ball in the air, not knowing what's going on, and seeing Keyshawn be able to go up there and get it was awesome. So to be able to end it on an interception and be able to get that turnover for the defense was huge.
We are basking in the glow of the win all day on The Game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight from 1977.
September of 77, American duo Steely Dan released their sixth album, Asia. It goes to number 3 in the States on the strength of 2 top 20 hits, Peg and Deacon Blues. In October, the major label debut album by Meatloaf is released. Hits number 14 in the U.S. and goes on to be one of the best-selling albums of all time. Leonard Skinner released the album Street Survivor. 3 days later, singer Ronnie Van Zant and 2 other band members are killed in a plane crash. The album goes to number 5 in the States, and the single What's Your Name hits number 13.
What's your name, little girl? What's your name?
In November, Eric Clapton's Slow Hand is released. It goes to number 2, driven by 3 hit singles, Cocaine, Wonderful Tonight, and Lay Down Sally.
Lay down, Sally, and rest here in my arms. Don't you think you want someone to talk to?
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1977, coming up. Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1974.
In April, Diamond Dogs is a number 1 album in the UK for David Bowie. It goes to number 5 in the US.
Rebel, rebel, you torn your dress. Rebel, rebel, your face is a mess. Rebel, rebel, how could they know? Hot tramp, I love you so.
In June of 1974, Chicago funk band Rufus, featuring lead singer Shaka Khan, score a number 3 hit with Tell Me Something Good. UK supergroup Bad Company have a number 1 album and a top 5 single, Can't Get Enough.
I can't get enough, enough of your love. I can't get enough, enough of your love. I can't get enough of your love. Yeah, this one.
And Dutch hard rock band Golden Earring have a number 13 hit with the single Radar Love.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1974, coming up.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top John Mellencamp songs that you've thumbed up. Number 3, Hurt So Good.
So good. Come on, baby, make it hurt so good. Sometimes love don't feel like it should, baby. Hurt so good.
Number 2, Small Town.
No, I cannot forget from where it is that I come from. I cannot forget the people who love me. Yeah, I can be myself here in the small town, and people let me be just what I want to be.
Number 1, Jack and Diane.
Oh yeah, life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. To walk on.
Hear more from John Mellencamp and similar artists now. Search for John Mellencamp on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
I'm on the corner of Main Street, just trying to keep it in line.
Welcome back in. It's D.N.D. here on the Game Radio Network. Dave Gasper is in Orlando. Dominique Yates from the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, multimedia journalist, will join us coming up in just a couple minutes. Keep them coming on the talk and text line, the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. What does this Packers victory mean to you? I mean, there's 12 days, I guess, worth of bragging rights left, if that's your thing at work, because we all work, Scott Dolphin, with Bears fans. How many Bears fans are in your building over there in Madison, Nick? You mentioned Sean Killebrew.
Oh, the only one I know of is our guy Killebrew. Our buddy Nick Hosen is a Bears fan as well.
True.
So
yep,
there's that.
Okay.
At least that I know of, just those two.
All right.
But
everyone
knows Bears fans.
Everybody knows Bears fans, 100%. All right, Micah Parsons didn't light up the stat sheet yesterday, but Caleb Williams is hard to get down. You knew that he was hard to get down when the game began.
Yeah.
And Micah Parsons was chasing Caleb Williams throughout much of the afternoon. So again, didn't light up the stat sheet, but Micah Parsons is the undisputed, at least as far as the front seven. He's the undisputed leader of that group, and Micah Parsons always holds court after the game and once a week during the week as well. But it's always entertaining. Talks about sleeves and why he doesn't wear sleeves. We'll let you listen to a few minutes of the Packers defensive end. Number 1 in your programs, and as they say, number 1 in your hearts as well. Here's Mike after the game.
Micah, what did it mean to get this win? You guys improved to 4-0 and now on top of the NFC North.
Yeah, the win was big for the organization. Talking to some guys, like, not having won in that division in a while, just trying to, that's one step closer to accomplishing that. So just one small accomplishment at a time. I understand we got, 2 more division games left and 4 more regular seasons, but this was a big step in a big way.
How are you feeling? You've logged that many miles running after a quarterback.
Oh, man, that's all part of the hunt. Eventually, I'm going to get him. Came close a couple times. But, it's like playing free-for-all football. Like, when you're young again, that's what it felt like out there.
Micah, they were showing a replay of what looked to be a holding call. Lambeau Field didn't, agree with the no call. Matt LaFleur said he doesn't know what a holding call is anymore. For you, are you immune to it at this point?
Yeah, I'm immune. I just got to keep fighting through. I mean, that's been the definition of my career, is always fighting through whatever. I'm a smaller guy, and I think they realized that, and I got advantage on the defensive side, and I play with a great leverage, and I'm able to get under people's arms. But no point. I think the rule book is they got to be in the chest area, and I'm just not getting grabbed in the chest area. But like I said, there's nothing I can do about it. I just got to keep fighting through.
So getting grabbed around the neck, that doesn't.
I mean, that's not in the rule book at all.
Does that go back to what you talked about this week about earning respect every week? You still feel like maybe you haven't earned the respect, maybe the referee?
Oh, I definitely think we definitely had their attention and respect. I mean, you go watch any of their games, they never played a football game like that. I mean, the run game, of course, but I mean, max protection. I mean, a guy they drafted, Darnell Wright. I mean, I expected a more of a drop back game, but no drop back. A lot of boots, a lot of sifts, and just really trying to get the ball out of his hands as much as possible. So I think we earned a lot of respect schematically, but we just got to adjust for the next time we see them, understanding how they're going to play us.
But on the official side, maybe not getting the calls, is that a lack of respect there?
I think that's like, yeah, I mean, I'm watching other games and certain refs is calling that. I saw the Detroit game. I said, bro, I even commented to my group chat. I was like, yo, I never get that call. Like, I was surprised that was a holding in their eyes. So, I just think every official officiates differently, but I'm just never on the right end of the stick, it seemed like. I think overall I was pretty surprised how they approached 2 minute. It's 2 minute, you got to get a 7, and they're playing like they need to play for 3. Running the ball, not want to do any dropbacks. I mean, a completely different expectation than what I expected to see, and got to have a situation. So, it's something that we got to look at. But overall, I was surprised about the calls in total. I mean, 20 seconds left in a got to have a situation. I understand the timeouts too. I mean, they had 2 timeouts.
But no surprise that your defense closed it out right with Keyshawn getting that kick at the end.
Nah, no surprise. We practice these situations over and over again. And the more we practice them and the more we're just in these situations, we've been finding a way to win. And we just got to continue that and keep building. But overall, we're playing great as a defense, and we're holding true to our word.
What did LaFleur say to you guys in here afterwards?
Just how we're going to stay humble. I mean, it was a great win, but it's still a long year left. A lot of things can happen in 4 weeks, and this is a team we see again. That's a good football team. Like, by any means, like, that's not a bad football team. That's a really good football team. They came in here and challenged us in the right way. I think we gave up, that second half. I mean, like 17 points unanswered. So we got to find a way better. Like, that's what I look at. Like, I take wins with wins, but I also take wins with correction. Like, wasn't a dominant fashion to the standard of how I like to play or how I expect to see a championship caliber team, because I've seen championship defenses, and 17 unanswered goes against a lot that I believe in.
With the rivalry, I know you said that rivalries are more for the fans, but what do you think of your first experience of the Packer-Bear rivalry?
The stadium was rocking. I thought the atmosphere was really great. I saw a lot of Bears fans in there, which I'm upset about the Packers for that, because that means they selling tickets, because it's hard to get tickets around here. So I am upset about that. But it was a great atmosphere. I think it was pretty dope. But to me, it's just about ball, and we got the win, but I wanted more clean though.
Speaking of ball, what do you think of your offense coming back down the field? Josh getting the go-ahead touchdown there to help you guys.
Yeah, they're dogs. I mean, Jay Love's been coming up, and our crunch time got to have. I mean, going back to Detroit last week, they push the game within 3, then he goes do what he does. I mean, in those moments, I don't think there's a guy I trust more. Him and Josh. I mean, Josh, you go back to the Arizona game, finding a way, climbing through, making people miss, and getting upfield. I mean, just them two together has just really been night and day, and something that, I haven't seen in a long time. I think they're the perfect duo together in that backfield, and you just add C. Watt and Jay Reed back. I'm seeing things at our offense that, I think they're still climbing. People are just now starting to get healthy, so I keep expecting a lot of points getting put up.
Micah, being in the Packers organization now, you're over a half season. You said post game it was all about like staying humble. You guys are first place in the NFC North, but the standard around here isn't just the North. How have you adjusted or adapted to the culture here in Green Bay?
I always say, like, the culture here has always been terrific. And what helps locker rooms is what you add into the locker room. I think I kind of fit perfectly to what they established already in here, but just playing hard football, being about ball, because that's just who I am. So I really just think this is a perfect fit. But, culturally, man, I told you, like, since the moment I got here, seeing how many guys are active in the film and coming in early and getting here early, working on their bodies, and just being so adamant about playing through injuries. Like the injuries I've seen this year and guys playing through and fighting to get back, I don't see that a lot of places. You know what I mean? There's guys that sit out for nothing. But these guys fight and claw and find a way to get healthy to play. I mean, I just see guys constantly just trying to get better. Constant communication, like, even shout out to Quay. I mean, I'm sitting next to him in that away game, and I'm seeing him going through his pregame notes. Just his preparation, how he attacks the game, and how everyone from Evan Williams to X, and how he goes through walkthroughs, and it's inspiring to me. Like, I picked up some of my habits off of some of the things that I've seen from some of our high quality players that they drafted and they built around here. So I really enjoy being here.
What's it been like being teammates with Keyshawn? What have you learned about him as a guy these last couple months?
Oh, that he got he little short man syndrome. Scrappy, like he's so scrappy. Like he's not to be played with, bro. He's small in size, but he's like a pit bull. Like he's scrappy on that outside. I mean, he knows when to turn it on. Like he always finds a way, and he's incredibly smart. Like I don't think people give him much credit. Like you say a lot of people look at Pat Surtain's, the Darrell Revis of how they describe corners of height, ability, and so for his size and how he plays and how he's been able to step up and the screen game and the pass game and the pass deflections, to me it doesn't go unnoticed. I think people give him a lot of but I mean he's having a hell of a year, and he's having a better year than some of the highest paid guys. So I think people should give him more grace than what's been given to him.
Two more from Mike. After you chased Caleb Williams one time, I think you two had just some conversation. Can you tell us what you guys were talking about?
Yeah, I just let him know, like, you're not going to outrun me. Like, you can outrun everyone around here, but I held to that to the whole game. He did not beat me to that edge not one time. So, I kind of hold that with passion. Like I don't. If you're gonna run boot the other way, which he did. So, adjustment on his part.
Rico one time, you did get him to the outside, and he looked like he was going to run, and then he decided, kind of pulled up. And
as he should. As he should.
Mike, you mentioned just how well Jordan's been playing. Is it time the league recognized him as an MVP candidate?
Oh man, if you look at strength of schedule, who we played, I mean, I don't think besides Stafford, there's a guy that's playing better football. And Dak Prescott, he's playing really good too. Like those three guys, I think are playing the best football in the league right now. But I definitely think he deserves recognition. If you go off strength of schedule, how he's played, and with him missing half his receivers, I think, that goes unnoticed too. Like some of the things he did without C.Y. early in the year, then Jay Reed. So, this guy was missing two of his starting receivers majority of the year, and they're just now getting back in, these last 8 weeks of the stretch. So I definitely think he deserves a lot more credit, and I'm just happy I've been able to be a part of this journey with him.
It's obviously cold out there. I know you said it's kind of bougie with the NFL, with the heaters and everything, but it's cold. Do you have a strong stance on sleeves? Are you a never sleeves guy?
Yeah, I am a never sleeves guy. Shout out to, I told, our defensive, some of the guys in there was like, you ain't wearing sleeves? I was like, no, I don't wear sleeves. A guy instilled me early when I was younger. Shout out to Coach Lynn. Paul Lynn, when I was with the Central Dauphin Rams, he says, if you're going to play on my defensive line or my front seven, don't wear sleeves. That's for and ever since then, I've been scared to wear them sleeves. So, he kind of, I think you need that as a kid. Like, I don't know if they're still getting coached like that, but, when I was growing up, you wasn't wearing sleeves on that front seven. So it's a mentality. I think, a lot of people, for some, there's it's too cold, but you could trick your mind into anything. So I'm pretty accustomed to it now.
I was wearing sleeves. Yeah, thanks, Mike. I don't know about you, Nick. I was wearing sleeves.
Yeah,
I have no qualms about wearing sleeves.
I was indoors, so first and foremost, that's most important here. Yeah, some of those guys do that. I don't really care as long as they perform well. I know the Steelers used to have guys like Ryan Shazier who go out there shirtless before the game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, look how tough I am. And then you don't perform well. I don't really care.
Just don't get frostbite. That's all I ask. Just, the Packers are going to need Micah Parsons the rest of the way. All right. Dominique Yates is going to join us coming up straight ahead from the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, a multimedia Packers beat reporter. That's coming up straight ahead. Stay with us on the game.
I look around here. I want to wake
You are listening to D.N.D. with Doug, Nick, and Dave.
This pains me to say this, but Dave's right.
Hey, why does that pain you to say? I'm right quite a bit, I think.
Middays here on the game. First place in the NFC North now belongs to your Green Bay Packers.
Here's the snap. Blitz on. They pick it up initially. Lofts the middle. Going for Watson.
Yes.
Got it. Touchdown. Green Bay Packers. Christian Watson took it away from Kevin Byard, and the Packers strike first. 23-yard touchdown pass.
This is a game that means a lot to everybody. It's an NFC North matchup. Obviously, Bears are number 1 seed, so it's a huge game. And like I said, we'll see these guys here in a couple weeks again.
Doug, Nick, and Dave are reacting to the win over the Bears all day on the game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight from 1976.
Bob Dylan releases his album Desire. It goes to number 1 in the States, thanks mainly to significant radio airplay for the single Hurricane.
Couldn't help but make me feel ashamed to live in a land where justice is a game.
Scottish sensations, the Bay City Rollers, finally score a hit in the U.S. with the number 1 single, Saturday Night.
Saturday
In February, former Steve Miller Band member Boz Scaggs has a number 2 U.S. album with Silk Degrees. Peter Frampton hits number 1 with his double live album Frampton Comes Alive. It would become the best-selling album of 1976.
I want you, show me the way every day. I want you, show me the way night and day.
In March, Irish hard rockers Thin Lizzy's 6th album Jailbreak scores them a number 12 hit single with The Boys Are Back in Town.
The boys are back in town again. Been hanging down at Demos.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1976 coming up.
Here are the top Fleetwood Mac songs that you've thumbed up.
Number 3, Don't Stop.
Don't stop thinking about tomorrow. Don't stop. It'll soon be. It'll be better than before. Yesterday's gone. Yesterday's gone.
Number 2, Dreams. Number 1, Go Your Own Way.
You can go your own way. Go your own way. You can call it
Hear more from Fleetwood Mac and similar artists now. Search for Fleetwood Mac on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1978.
In June of 78, Darkness on the Edge of Town is released, Bruce Springsteen's follow-up to his breakthrough album Born to Run. The album charts at number 5.
In the darkness on the edge of town. In the darkness on the edge of town.
Boston-based band The Cars released their debut album. It goes to number 18. It features the singles Just What I Needed and My Best Friend's Girl.
She's my best friend's girl. But she used to be mine.
In July of 78, the Rolling Stones released Some Girls in the U.S. The album and the single Miss You both hit number 1. In August of 78, Boston released their sophomore album, Don't Look Back. The album goes to number 1 in the U.S., selling 4 million copies in its first month.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1978 coming up.
We call it Wagertainment.
All right, place your bet. Place your bets.
VSiN every night at 6. Presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest on Fox Sports 920.
Welcome back in. It's D.N.D. without the second D. Doug Russell, Nick Brusowitz, Dave Gasper is on a volunteer assignment in Orlando. There are palm trees where he's at. So,
Well, we add a replacement D. How about that?
I like that. Yeah. So we're back to D&D. We're back to full strength. As we welcome in Dominic Yates from the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel Packers multimedia reporter. Dominic, appreciate the time. How are you today?
Doing great. Wishing I was looking at palm trees and not snow, but thanks for having me.
Well, you and I in person yesterday got to witness Week 14, 28-21 victory by the Packers over the Chicago Bears. What was the difference between the first half and the second half as you saw it as far as Chicago being able to move the ball a little bit better? Because that was a dominating performance in the first half, and, boy, it became a nail-biter by the end.
I think a big part of it was not playing complementary football. I think that you saw offensively the Packers got the ball, but had a 3-and-out. And then the Bears were able to put together, 8-minute drives and able to run the ball, and that's how they were able to have some success. I think the defense was a little bit tired. And then another instance, the kick that Brandon McManus just shanked and went out of bounds, and the Bears start the ball at the 40, and they get good field position. So I think a lot of it was the defense was a little bit tired. And, the Bears, they're a good team, and they've averaged, around 26 points per game. So the Packers were still able to keep them below their average. And still, they rushed for 281 yards against the Eagles. They finished with less than 140 in this game. So I think a lot of it was the tired defense, and there are still some things that they have to kind of adjust and be prepared for the next time they face the Bears. In particular, a lot of the bootlegs that Caleb Williams did and some of the freestyle plays that happened.
When you look at the other side, it's Caleb Williams playing in his 13th game in year one with Ben Johnson as a play caller. And he's already had 3 different play callers in his short career. Love has had the same offensive play caller for all 6 years of his career, all 3 years as a starter, and he'll continue to do so for however long Matt LaFleur is the head coach. How much value is there in that he has that level of consistency and the ability to kind of build off of prior knowledge one year over the next?
Oh, it's everything. You can tell how comfortable Jordan is right now in this system. I mean, 2 of the biggest plays in the game was because of Jordan just reading the defense, knowing the reads and the situations. One being when they had the 3rd and goal at the 2. Matt LaFleur called a pass play. Jordan Love canned it to a run play. Josh Jacobs scored a touchdown. The other instance, he saw the Bears were just going to send some pressure and all-out blitz. He called an audible. It was a quick slant to Christian Watson because he knew there was just one high safety, and you knew with Watson's speed he would be able to score. So you can just tell that Jordan Love, he knows what Matt LaFleur wants from this offense, and I think Jordan Love is playing really, really good football right now. So that experience, it goes a long way. But there's no question, Caleb Williams, in that Ben Johnson combination, that can cause some problems for some teams for years to come.
I've always put a couple of litmus tests as to what I consider to be a quote-unquote elite player, specifically an elite quarterback in the NFL. Number one, I think you need to have garnered at least some MVP votes. And I also think that you need to have led your team into a deep playoff run, preferably at least a conference championship game. Jordan Love has not accomplished either of those yet. How close, then, using my litmus test, do you think he is to becoming an, air quotes, elite quarterback?
I mean, he's close. You look at this 4-game stretch and how he's playing. I mean, he's playing as good as really any quarterback in the league. Granted, Matthew Stafford, and there's some other guys that are on some great runs as well. But the more that he can just make some smart decisions, it just goes a long way. But I mean, the way he's playing right now, you see the way this offense is when he is getting, his receivers healthy, and you see the way Watson is playing. He's just having guys around him step up, and the offensive line has played much better as of late. And when Jordan Love has a clean pocket and has time to throw, he can tear up a defense. So he's not far away from being to that status. It just, for him, it has to be a consistency and continually playing. And you really did see that against Chicago, the way he rebounded after, throwing a bad interception. So he's playing at a high level. The numbers are there. His stats are, top 10 amongst other quarterbacks in the league. So Jordan Love, you can tell he's a special player, and he's only going to get better.
There are some really special defenses in the NFL, most notably Seattle, Houston, and Denver. But my argument would be, I think the Packers are near top 5 defensively. And of those teams I just named, I think I'd pick the Packers offense over the field. So does it feel like the Packers are one of the more complete teams in the league, in your opinion, now, as we have gotten 3/4 of the way through the year?
They're close. They're very close to that. But there's still plenty of moments, and they do some things that good teams can't do. It feels like I don't really know what is going on across the league, with a lot of penalties on special teams that continues to kind of rear its ugly head, and how some of those have been problems for this team and putting the offense in bad field position. There's still some of those moments where the offense, they just have to put some drives together. And again, there were some times against Chicago where they just didn't do that. And they had some bad penalties, like the Aaron Banks face mask penalty that put the offense in a bad situation, and they had to punt the ball. And then defensively, they still have some of those moments where they just can't get off the field. And they just have to try to get that stop when they need to. But still, big picture, they've won 4 straight games. They're 9-3-1. They went 1-5 in the division last year. Right now, they're 4-0. So it seems like they are starting to peak at the right time and playing as one of the better teams in the league. But they still have some of those moments where they just have to clean it up and play a little bit better, because there are some teams out there in the league that could capitalize on some of the mistakes that the Packers have made in some of these games.
Dominic Yates, multimedia Packers reporter for the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, joining us here on D.N.D. on the Game Radio Network. You mentioned the Packers record right now with 9 wins, 9-3-1. Chicago, they go in the span of 3 hours from the number 1 seed in the NFC playoffs to the number 7 seed in the NFC playoffs, but just a half game separates them from Green Bay. The Packers right now behind the Rams for right now, Green Bay, the number 2 spot in the playoffs. Considering Green Bay's finishers, that, if you will, you have to travel to Denver. They're a number 1 seed, 11-2. The rematch with the Bears. They've got perhaps a desperate Baltimore team to end off the regular season schedule at Lambeau Field, and then they finish the regular season at Minnesota. They've been up and down. I mean, they clobbered Washington yesterday, but Washington's 3-9 on the season. How trepidatious should Packers fans be that this is a team that's actually going to still make the playoffs? Because that's not a given, considering what's in front of them and how tightly packed up this NFC is right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a photo finish for a lot of these teams. And I think the biggest key for the Packers, taking care of business at home. I think that goes a long way. So you definitely, not only sweeping Detroit, but beating Minnesota and Chicago at Lambeau, it was crucial. Because the rest of the way, you have to take care of business for 3 of the last 4 games on the road. I know Minnesota is struggling, but you still have to go to Chicago and play Denver. And then a Ravens team that's going to be, fighting for dear life right now. The Packers have to be ready. And, the Bears as well. Sure. Cleveland has a really good defense. So, they have to make sure that they can figure some things out and score on that team. And then, the 49ers in Detroit for those last 2 games will be big as well. So, the Packers are in a really good place right now, but they can't let their foot off the gas. And the biggest thing that I want to see from this team whether it's playing Minnesota or Baltimore, or even how, they started the game against Chicago. I want to see if they can just put a team away. It was 14-3. How do you get that at 21-3, 28-6 or something along those lines, and have one of those type of dominating performances? The closest thing you saw that from the Packers was the 23-6 game against Minnesota the first time. So, yeah, it's going to be a photo finish, if you will, to see who can come out on top in that division.
Just want to get your opinion on Matthew Golden and where he's at in his rookie campaign. Not all rookies are created equal. I think that there's an urgency from fans now that they've seen first-round wide receivers in particular hit the ground running for a series of years. But it feels to me like maybe you should shift your focus to 2026 being the opportunity to attempt to see what his potential may be.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I do believe that there is a place for him right now in this offense. And I do think they need to try to find a way to use him more. The number one thing is getting him healthy. Because I look at this offense right now, Christian Watson, I think he's playing, some of the best football of his career. Jaden Reed is back now. And yes, you still have Romeo Doubs. Dontavian Wicks is another guy I think you have to keep using in this offense. You saw that in Detroit. His health is also a question. But I think there's going to be a lot of attention and focus on some of those older guys that I just talked about. And so where can you use Golden in that situation? I think about, I know the team loves to use Bo Melton. And it was big for him, to get that touchdown. But for me, I'm curious, what would it look like if Golden was in that situation? Would he be a guy that would could get some more targets and maybe, score that touchdown and make some of those plays? So there is a lot of talent there, and he has the speed, and saw it in training camp, the strong catches that he made. So I understand, why, you would want to say using him next year. But I really just believe there is a place for him this year to contribute and just add to an offense that is only getting better.
He is Dominic Yates. You can find him on Twitter or X, whichever you prefer, at Real D Yates. He is also in the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel Packers multimedia reporter. Dominic, we appreciate the time and the insight so much. We'll see you soon in Green Bay.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Dominic. There he goes. Dominic Yates. Again, great stuff in the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel Packers multimedia reporter. Give him a follow at Real D Yates. And we appreciate his time here on D.N.D. Yeah, I mean, listen, I think, what I asked him about the last 4 games of the season, I mean, if you're a Packers fan, I don't think you can cash your chips just yet, because the Bears went from the 1 seed to the 7 seed in the blink of an eye. 4 games left, and they are hard game. Even Minnesota at their place, and I don't know how well they're feeling it after a 31-0 win over the Commanders. Washington's really bad this year, but I mean, maybe they're figuring it out at the end of the season. I don't know, Nick.
Yeah, the path ahead is going to be full of challenges for this Packers group. We knew it coming into their first matchup with the Vikings, right? We felt 3 weeks ago that they had hit a stretch of, okay, time to prove it. And so far they're 3-0 and they're 4-0 in the division after being 1-5 and almost 0-6 last year. I mean, improvements have been made. It's just about this final stretch here and now taking it deeper into the postseason.
All right. Thanks once again to Dominique Yates. Coming up in the final hour of the program, we'll lead things off with Bruiser's Bites. That will lead us off in about 7 minutes or so. Also, we'll hear from Josh Jacobs. We'll hear from Jordan Love as well. Christian Watson, after his 2-touchdown performance, catching 4 balls for 89 yards in those 2 scores, really kind of separating himself as WR1, perhaps. All that and more coming up. Stay with us. It's D.N.D. Doug Russell and Nick Bruzewitz, Dave Gasper, on assignment-ish, here on the Game Radio Network. Stay with us.
The Packers earn a big win over the Bears to take over first place in the NFC North.
Toss Jacobs around the right end, has to beat Sweat, cuts inside of him, breaks free, 25-20, 15-10, bulldozing down inside the 10 to the 6-yard line of Chicago. Byard got him down. 22-yard gallop. Snap, kid Jacobs up the middle, throwing his way. End zone, and he is in. Yes, a touchdown. Josh Jacobs would not be denied. And the Packers lead 27-21.
We are basking in the glow of the win all day on the game.
Let's all celebrate and have a good time.
iHeartRadio.
Here are the top Eagles songs that you thumbed up.
Number 3.
Life in the Fast Lane.
He was too tired to make it. She was too tired to fight about it. Life in the fast lane surely make you lose your mind. Life in the fast lane. Life in the fast lane. Everything, all the time.
Number 2.
Take It Easy.
Take it easy. Take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels make you crazy. Come on, baby. Don't say nay.
Number 1.
Hotel California.
There were voices down the corridor. I thought I heard them say, welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place, such a lovely place, such a lovely place.
Hear more from the Eagles and similar artists now.
Search for the Eagles on iHeartRadio.
All your favorite music,
All your favorite stations.
all free.
Now, a year in rock spotlight from 1977.
In February of 77, 60s band leader Manfred Mann has a new band and scores a U.S. #1 hit with a cover of Bruce Springsteen's song Blinded by the Light. In March, Foreigner released their debut album. It goes to number 4 in the U.S., driven by 2 top 10 singles, Cold as Ice and Feels Like the First Time. Philadelphia blue-eyed soul duo Hall & Oates have their first U.S. #1 with Rich Girl from their 5th album, Bigger Than the Both of Us. Fleetwood Mac's album Rumors is released. It's their second #1 album in a row in the U.S., dominating the charts at #1 for 31 weeks. It spawns 4 top 10 singles, including the #1 Dreams.
When the rain washes you clean, you know.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1977. Coming up.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Foreigner songs that you've thumbed up.
Number 3.
Hot Blooded.
I show you loving like you never knew. That's why I'm hot-blooded. Check it and see. Feel the fever burning inside of me. Come on, baby, do you do more than dance?
Number 2. I Want to Know What Love Is.
Change this lonely life. I want to know what love is. I want you to show me.
Number 1. Cold as Ice.
You're as cold as ice. You're willing to sacrifice our love.
Hear more from Foreigner and similar artists now. Search for Foreigner on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Rick Springfield to get some insight on his latest release, Rocket Science.
It's a guitar-based record for sure, and I love big hooks, and not a country record at all. It's a rock and roll record, but it does have some country elements.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from Rick Springfield and all your favorite artists.
Saving energy saves you money.
Whether you switch to Energy Star light bulbs, install Energy Star windows, or add extra insulation, learn more at EnergySavers.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
What you waiting for? Let's go. Make sure to make us a preset on the iHeartRadio app so you can listen to us anytime, anywhere. Wisconsin's home for sports and stuff. We are the game.
Final hour of D.N.D. Dominique Yates was our third D there for a while. Both of our guests have also had the first name of D. Dave Gasper and Dominique Yates. Coming up, we will check in tomorrow with Patrick Herb. So it's gonna be DNP for a second. DNP for a segment. But what a week for Wisconsin Badgers athletics. We will talk to him about that. The men's hockey team, the women's hockey team. Sweeps as they go into their semester breaks. You've got the volleyball team. My goodness gracious. They are once again in the Sweet 16. The basketball teams, just a lot going on. Plus the Packers. Just a lot going on, man. It is a busy Monday. I understand now why Heller liked Mondays so much. I mean, there's just a lot going on.
Mondays provide you with a great level of content. You react to a game that just happened that everybody watched and has opinions on. There's value in it. This would be a very good Monday regardless because the Packers won, but it does help to have every other team that people are paying attention to right now, specifically at Wisconsin, win as well. A lot of winning. Wisconsin's winning right now.
And then there's the Bucks, but they don't play for a few days, so they probably need that breather now, don't they? Think about what you've done. All right, now
that's right.
It's time now to check in with Nick and another scintillating edition, another award-winning. We got to give it an award at some point, so we can call it the award-winning Bruiser's Bites.
Time now for Bruiser's Bites.
Yes, sir. It's time for Bruiser's Bites, brought to you by Wisconsin Concrete Coatings, wiconcretecoatings.com. You can visit them there and see all the great work that they do for you. They'll do your garage floors, your garage cabinetry, your outdoor deck, patio. I know this time of year it's kind of tough, so you'll probably have to plan ahead for a spring ordeal with them, but that's okay. They're going to get busy quickly in the spring, so get on the phone, visit them, wiconcretecoatings.com. Get them lined up to come check out your property and increase your property value and give you that garage that I think a lot of folks are pining to have, especially in this state. People love their garages. Just an extra living space for you to watch the games like you would have yesterday. Packers beating the Bears 28-21. wiconcretecoatings.com. And we'll start with a national voice, though. He's got a local perspective in a lot of ways. Big Cat of Barstool on PMT, pardon my take, his Barstool podcast, had this to say about Jordan Love and this specific time of the year.
Jordan Love has now gotten to a point where when he hits his back foot, I'm scared because he just throws it up in the air. And he really, when he does it during Toyotathon, because the Toyotathon is real. I don't know what else to say. It's fucking insane. If you don't know the Toyotathon, it's every year when Toyota does their big deal, Toyotathon around Christmas. Jordan Love starts playing insane football. His numbers in Toyotathon in his career are 36 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, one of which was today, 4,239 yards, 284 yards a game. His numbers outside of Toyotathon, 44 touchdowns, 27 interceptions. So just to reiterate, Toyotathon.
When does it end?
36 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Outside of Toyotathon, 44 touchdowns, 27 interceptions.
When does it end?
I think after New Year's.
Yeah, it's after New Year's. Yeah.
Yeah, it comes to a close, I believe, January 5th, which would be immediately after the Packers have concluded their regular season. But those numbers, depending on your outlet, they have 4,239 passing yards, 36 touchdowns, 2 picks, or 36 touchdowns, 3 picks. Regardless, that's a dude that's playing really well every year at the same time. Do you think it's more just the fact that it's the end of the regular season, or do you think it is some sort of Toyotathon magic for Jordan Love?
No, I think it's all about car sales.
That's huge.
I mean, I don't know what it is about the end of the season that he turns it on. I mean, it really started in 2023. That was his first season as the Packers starting quarterback. And there are a couple of mitigating factors. I don't know what it is for this year, but the mitigating factor in year one was that he was just getting his feet wet as a starting quarterback in the National Football League. Really started to turn it on, ironically, after a loss at your team at Pittsburgh, and then really was as good as anyone in the second half of the 2023 season. He could have been, for the second half of that year, the league's MVP. Dak played really well then as well. There are a couple of other guys that played really good
18
football.
touchdowns, 1 pick for him down the stretch was as good as anyone.
Last season, remember, he got hurt in week 1 against Philadelphia, that game down in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Hurt his knee, wasn't able to extend plays, missed a couple of games. Malik Willis came in, started a couple of games, and won a couple of games against Indianapolis and then against Tennessee. Jordan came back after missing a couple of weeks. I don't know that he was necessarily the same. Maybe for the rest of the season, but I think he got better as time went on.
Hurt his groin too, right? I mean, that Jaguars groin injury.
Absolutely. Malik had to come in and won that game for the Packers as well. So he was injured throughout a lot of last year. And then in the second half, I think as he started to get better physically, that's when he started to play better as well. So those are the mitigating factors for the first couple of years. What it is this year, I don't know. Maybe it's just an ascension of what is someone who is turning into an elite quarterback. I've made my statement as to what I have my litmus test as to what makes an elite quarterback. I think he's probably going to get at least one of those things that in my mind, makes someone at that position as good as you can be, top 3, 4, 5 quarterback in the National Football League. I think that he's on that ascension. He just needs to continue to ascend.
Well, a guy we've been waiting maybe to take the leap from being a fringe star to an outright star, Christian Watson has had himself a hell of a season since he's returned. And yesterday he had 4 catches for 89 yards and 2 scores. This is what he had to say about beating the Bears, the team at which he tore his ACL against in January of this year. Not last year, this year, not even a full year ago.
It means a lot to me for sure. Honestly, I tried not to think about it that much, but I mean, as the game was kind of getting going, it was definitely creeping in my mind a little bit. I mean, I'm just, so thankful and blessed to be able to do what I do. And I'm glad that, today panned out how it did for sure.
Yeah. What a win for the Packers and what a day for Christian Watson. I'm sure it felt great to do that against that opponent in particular. Have you felt like the Packers have unlocked their offense in recent weeks? Jaden Reed's return was pretty substantial yesterday. I feel like they're starting to round into form and fully understand what their identity needs to be.
Yeah, I think they're getting there. And it's really hard without Tucker Kraft in the lineup as well. So kudos to Matt LaFleur for dialing up some plays that are, I think, exposing Luke Musgrave for as good as a receiver as he can be. I still think he caught that ball. He showed his athleticism there, and I still think that there's some talent there. You need to get some sort of, return out of the second round pick capital that you used for Musgrave, and you don't want Tucker Kraft to ever be injured. But if he is going to be injured, and injuries are part of football, of course, they're part of all sports, you have to be able to have someone who can step in and take advantage of that. And I think that that's part of the equation. But I also think that as far as Christian Watson, I think he needs more than 4 targets a game. I think your point to Dominique Yates at the end of last hour was a really good one in terms of Matthew Golden. Maybe start looking toward 2026 to try to get him more acclimated to being a professional NFL player. Just this year hasn't worked out, but I will never write off anybody in their rookie season. I think doesn't matter what position it is. You know who sucked in his first year as a rookie was Peyton Manning, who turned into arguably he was 5-time MVP.
Easily the greatest of all time conversation.
He's in the conversation. Yeah, he could be the greatest quarterback of all time. He sucked his first year.
That's right.
So don't write anybody off their rookie season, including Matthew Golden. Yes, do the Packers need to get more out of him? 100%. But I think that can probably wait to 2026, especially if everybody, hopefully, knock on whatever that is. I don't know if it's wood. Everybody got to stay healthy from here on out. But yeah, Christian Watson, in my opinion, needs to be featured more.
Well, yesterday was quite the performance for Keyshawn Nixon. I think the multiple penalties on him on the same possession Not ideal. The
Nope.
latter of which not his fault. I mean, he was retaliating, I think, to
Yeah,
what
that was a bull crap penalty.
It was a poor call on him, but his ability as a cornerback has often been discussed at a greater level, both locally at a Packer fan level, what his ability is at the position, but also nationally. Hey, do the Packers even have a cornerback you can count on? Well, yesterday he was asked about his game-sealing interception and if it was gratifying for him. Here is his response to that.
I mean, I don't care. I do this for me, for everybody else. Excuse my language, but, I am who I say I am, and I always tell myself that when I come on the field and play like that. But that's just a play. I got to keep making them.
All right. Well, there's something to be said about self-confidence and
he's got
self-worth.
it. He's never lacked confidence, that's for sure.
And doesn't really give a blank. He does that blank for me.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the right response in that moment?
Yeah, probably, because if Keyshawn Nixon, there are a lot of guys in there who don't lack confidence. Keyshawn Nixon is one of those guys who has never lacked any confidence whatsoever. Even when he was a return man, even when he first got to Green Bay, the statements that I'm CB1. Yeah, of course I'm CB1. I mean, there's nobody else who's as good as me at that position. That's what he's saying. And, he's backed it up. I don't think that the Packers are particularly strong at cornerback. But yeah, I mean, you've got to have somebody that's got some swagger in that locker room. I'm not mad at it. I don't think any football fan should be. It's just part of the game. Micah Parsons has swagger, and you need to have, a little bit of nasty. The one thing that Christian Watson, we go back to Christian Watson for just a second. I know you're asking about Keyshawn Nixon in the defense, but if there's one thing that Christian Watson maybe lacks, it's that a-hole. He's not an a-hole. He's one of the nicest guys that you're ever going to come across. I think if there's anything that he lacks in his game, it's just a little bit of nasty. And Keyshawn Nixon has that nasty that you want to have, especially at the cornerback position. You got to have somebody who, if he does give up a play, and all cornerbacks do, no cornerback is perfect, but you got to forget it and make the next play. Even if you get burned for a long touchdown, you got to forget it, put it behind you, make the next play. And I think Keyshawn Nixon has that ability.
Well, a guy who definitely has that nasty ability is Micah Parsons. And although he didn't get a sack yesterday and only finished with one tackle, he did finish team high 2 total QB hits. And you're never going to get rid of him in a performance, regardless of how much you allocate towards stopping him. He's going to find a way to be a part of it. This is what he had to say, though, about taking the lead in the NFC North, now 9-3-1 ahead of the Bears at 9-4.
One was big for the organization. Talking to some guys, like not having won in that division in a while, just trying to, that's one step closer to accomplishing that. So just one small accomplishment at a time. I understand we got, 2 more division games left and 4 more regular seasons, but this was a big step in a big way.
I know you're not one to make predictions, Doug. You don't love to kind of forecast the road ahead and give a definitive answer on things like this. But if the Packers are to win the division the rest of the way, what number of wins in their final 4 do you think gets that done?
Well,
there's nuance because they play the Bears.
Exactly. So that's why that's not an easy answer, because who do the Bears still have left?
I know they have the Lions at least one more time. The Lions beat them by a bajillion. Bears schedule. I'll get it for you right here. We've got left on the schedule for the Bears: Browns, Packers, Niners on the road, and Lions at home.
Okay. So I think that the Packers probably, if they beat the Bears,
it's over.
I think it's probably over. Yeah. And if they I don't even know if I consider it a steal if you get another win, because you've got 3 road games and 1 home game left.
Right.
If you can, air quotes, steal one at Denver and then beat the Bears, done. Doesn't matter what you do in the last 2 weeks of the season. I think they'll win the division. Yeah, that's if you can go 2-2, but it depends on, a lot of it is that linchpin of beating Chicago, because that puts them, you win there's no tiebreaker, because unless the Bears tie a game, because right now the Packers have a half game lead and their tie against Dallas kind of takes any tiebreakers out. But if you can beat the Bears, it gives them another loss, obviously, just doing the first grade math on that. Yeah, if you win 2 games and one of them in Chicago, you win the division, in my opinion.
I think that it could be, and I don't think it's going to happen. I think it could be as drastic as Packers going 1-3 the rest of the way gets it done if they beat the Bears. Do I think they'll go 1-3? No, but I think the Bears are going to falter against Detroit, Niners, and Packers. Those are 3 really tough games. Bears drop 2 of those. You're talking about the Packers being able to win it with just 1 win. Of course, beating the Bears with that 1 win. But it's all very much on the table still.
I'm not sure how good Detroit is. They're a good team. Don't get me. I don't want to disparage them. I'm just not sure how good they are. You know what I mean?
Could come down to week 18. I think the Lions are going to be fighting for their playoff lives. The Bears will be looking to also sneak into the postseason. It's possible that final game of the year in Chicago between the Lions and Bears is a winner gets in, loser out of the postseason.
We've seen them before at Soldier Field.
It's very interesting. Very interesting. The Lions have not lost consecutive games in like 60 games or something, right? So that's why when they beat the Cowboys on Thursday night, not many were surprised, but they've been very inconsistent this year. We'll see what's what as the season comes to its conclusion. Transitioning to, let me see. What do I want? I pulled so much stuff. I love to try and keep them in order of sports where I can. Let's just head to the college basketball ranks. The Badgers men's basketball team beat Marquette 96-76 on Saturday. John Blackwell with 30 points once again. So what do you have to say about beating Marquette?
When I first came in, I didn't know how big the rivalry was because I'm a Michigan kid. All I know is Michigan State, Michigan, and Ohio State. So I didn't know how big the rivalry was because I didn't grow up watching Wisconsin. But when I came here and the guys who's from here and Gilly and Klez taught me how big this rivalry is, I took it personal. And it's an honor to beat them because there was a sour taste in our mouth from them beating us at their crib last year. So it's a good feeling beating them.
Yeah, it has to have felt pretty good to win in the fashion that they did as well. I think that is a statement victory for the Badgers in this rivalry series. John Blackwell finishes with 30 points. The Badgers win by 20. It was the largest margin of victory in this series with Marquette, either side, since 1952. Wow. So it's been 73, 74 years since one had beaten the other by this many points, and they were very close to like the first time since World War I.
Yeah, I mean, if you look historically at these two programs, and this is going to piss off a lot of Marquette fans because they look at Wisconsin's, well, I mean, they've had a football program, but they didn't have a basketball program to speak of for about 40 years. Like, okay, but that was also 30 years ago. If you look historically at these two programs, they're very similar. Wisconsin has been to, I think, one more Final Four. They both have one championship that was either 1 or 2 lifetimes ago. Wisconsin won it in 1941, I believe. And Marquette, of course, won it all in 1977, which they will remind you of constantly. I mean, whenever they wear their championship blue, I always ask the question just to kind of poke at Marquette fans a little bit. So why do you call it championship blue? Anyway, they went to the Final Four in 2003. That was the last time they were there. Wisconsin got to the NCAA championship game in 2015 and the Final Four in 2014 and 2015. I mean, there's so many similarities between the two programs that's what makes it a good rivalry. But yeah, I mean, it's been a lifetime since it was a 20-point blowout, which I guess I didn't realize. So I look forward. It's kind of goes back to Packers Bears. You want them both to be good and for, even if it's early in the season, playing for something. That's what makes the rivalry fun. And yeah, Marquette won last year. I think they needed to start dipping into the transfer portal a little bit more. Shaka doesn't want to necessarily do that. He might be forced to do that if he wants to continue to build what he thinks can be a championship caliber program at Marquette.
Well, quick shout out to a championship caliber program at UW Oshkosh. The Titans won their first ever women's volleyball championship over the weekend. They did not drop a set across its 6 tournament wins.
Nice.
Just dominated.
I love that for us.
The stretch. It's great. It's the 51st championship all time for Oshkosh.
I am aware. I don't get to say us much and mean it, but I should have worn a UW Oshkosh sweatshirt. I've got enough of them for crying out loud. But yeah, hail Titans, go Oshkosh. Proud to be a Titan. Always proud to be a Titan. But anytime we can bring home a national championship, even prouder that day to be an Oshkosh Titan.
Well, the
So,
Badgers
congratulations.
played in football this year. Plenty of teams with an opportunity to bring back a national championship. I mentioned it earlier, but I'll bring it back here again. Wisconsin ended up playing 4 of the top 9 seeds in the college football playoff this year, including the top 2, Indiana and Ohio State. Factor in that Tulane and James Madison are part of the 12-team field. You're talking about a really small group of big, legitimate conference teams, and the Badgers, having played 4 of them, certainly didn't hold up their end of the bargain in those matchups. But a schedule that we thought could be incredibly tough turned out to be even more challenging than I think most anticipated.
Facts. Yeah, they didn't, we knew it was going to be a tough schedule, and you didn't expect anybody to, pull off any upsets, but they pulled off a couple of ranked team upsets at Camp Randall Stadium. I really wish, what I said about snow globe games, I don't think you're getting the best football out of either team. There's a lot of slipping and sliding. Sometimes it's just who makes the fewer busted plays, who can hang on to the ball, which is really slick. So I look at that game against Minnesota, and would it have been nice for the Badgers to win it? Of course. Would have loved for Wisconsin to be able to bring back the Axe. But when it's a snow game, I'm not even that mad about it, because it's just so fluky.
They'd be in a bowl game right now if they won that game.
Yeah, they would, because everybody else is saying,
10 teams have opted out.
We don't need to go to the bowl games. Well, this is what I have talked about when I say that pigs get fat and hogs get slaughtered, because nobody wants to expose themselves to those games, whether it's a player, the student athlete, or the teams, because there's expense that is involved in going to these games. Yeah, there's a bit of a payout, but there's also a lot of expense that goes into that extra game as well. So I'm not necessarily surprised that the Belk Bowl or the Motor City Bowl or some of these lesser bowl games are having trouble finding takers because of the expense and what you can do with the money instead. You can build up your team for the college football playoff for the next year. Doesn't surprise me at all. It's the unintended consequence of the added layer of the playoffs. Just like NIL, there's going to be unintended consequences when it comes to non-revenue sports. Non-revenue sports, they're on the chopping block. We've already seen it in some places. I've talked about my wife. She was a UTEP tennis player, full scholarship ride. They've cut the program at UTEP in the last year because they need to reallocate those resources to other places, i.e. the football program, even in Conference USA, even at a place like UTEP. Unless you are well-funded, extraordinarily well-funded, that's going to be an unintended consequence. And we're starting to see that. It's going to be all about football, and it's going to be all about the college football playoff. That's where all the money is going to wind up going at some point.
We'll end with this. The AP poll for men's basketball is out for week 6. Every national champion since 2004 has been in the top 12 of the week 6 AP poll. Wisconsin not in the top 25. But how much does this matter? Clearly for the last 20 years, whoever's won the whole thing has been in this top 12 for what it's worth. Michigan at 2, Purdue at 6. Michigan State at 9 are your 3 Big Ten teams in the top 12.
Yeah, it's just a snapshot. It just shows that you're a good team. And I think all the teams that are ranked are good teams. We've seen them play a couple of games, but injuries are still part of it. By and large, the bulk of the conference schedules haven't been played yet. So is there a correlation? Yeah. You point out the numbers. The numbers are what they are. But do I put a lot of do I put a lot of stock in these early season rankings? It's not the first ranking of the season, which is utterly useless, but they get more meaningful as the season goes on. And we're not even to the first of the year. We're not even at Christmas yet. So, it's something to look at, but I don't put too much stock in it. But there's a correlation, just because if you're not good, you're not going to get ranked. We'll put it that way.
Out the door, the Brewers are the 2025 Organization of the Year by Baseball America. So credit to the Brewers on being chosen by Baseball America as the Organization of the Year.
I think that's appropriate because they are a really, really well-run shop. And we heard from Matt Arnold earlier today as well. All right. Good job on Bruisers Bites today.
Thank you. Always brought to you by Wisconsin Concrete Coatings, wiconcretecoatings.com.
All right, stay with us. More of D.N.D, Doug Russell and Nick Bruzewitz. No Dave Gasper today. Well, we had him for a segment earlier. And he'll be gone tomorrow and Wednesday as well. We'll hear from Jordan Love coming up. We haven't heard from Packers QB1 yet after Green Bay's 28-21 win at home against the Chicago Bears that has vaulted them into the number 2 spot with 4 games left to play. Number 2 spot in the NFC playoffs. Stay with us on the Game Radio Network.
Sirens in my head, wrapped up in silence, all circuits are dead. Can I be cold? My whole life spins into a frenzy.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
D.N.D will be back in just a moment. Let's relive the best moments from the Packers' win over the Bears.
Here's the snap. Blitz on. They pick it up initially. Lofts the middle. Going for Watson.
Yes.
Got it. Touchdown. Green Bay Packers. Christian Watson took it away from Kevin Byard, and the Packers strike first. 23-yard touchdown pass. In the shotgun, here's the snap. Jordan Love. Blitz on. They pick it up. Good block that time from the running back. Love, Rainbow's middle. Wide open.
Yes.
It is a touchdown for Bo Melton. Yes, a touchdown. 45 yards. Tight end standing up left side of the line on second down. Quick toss into the crowd. Ball broken up, incomplete. 10 into the play for Moore. Keyshawn Nixon literally blew it up. Long count. Here's the snap. Rashawn Williams looking. Flush. Rolling right. Chased by Rashawn Gary. To the sidelines. Throws it away down the right side. All right. Fakes the handoff. Quick throw. Got Watson cutting left. To the 20. To the 15. To the 10. To the house. For the touchdown. Christian Watson. When 9 equals number 1 receiver. Under center, Jordan Love. On 1st and 10 at the Green Bay 46. And he fakes the handoff, back to throw. Love, lofts, right side, going for Reed. He's got it! Far sidelines, they beat C.J. Gardner-Johnson to the Chicago 36-yard line. Toss Jacobs around the right end, has to beat Sweat. Cuts inside of him, breaks free, 25-20, 15-10, bulldozing down inside the 10 to the 6-yard line of Chicago. Byard got him down. 22-yard gallop. Snap, give Jacobs up the middle, burrowing his way, end zone, and he is in. Yes, a touchdown. Josh Jacobs would not be denied. And the Packers lead 27-21. They get motion to the tight end to the right. Fake to Swift, bootlegging left. Williams looking, floats the end zone. It's intercepted. Interception. A leaping interception by Keyshawn Nixon. And there is your dagger. And a Lambeau leap to the south end zone stands. 22 seconds to go. And the Packers have hung on. The Packers will hang on. They will take the lead in the NFC North, heading to the final month of the season, and a rematch with these Bears in 2 weeks in Chicago. Love drops to a knee, and that will do it. The 211th meeting between the Packers and Bears. What an epic battle this was. Won by Green Bay 28-21.
You are listening to the home of the best Packers coverage, The Game.
Celebration to last throughout the years. So bring your good times.
Now, a year in rock spotlight, 1971.
February, 4 months after her death, Janis Joplin's album Pearl is released and goes to number 1. The single Me and Bobby McGee also tops the chart. Bill Withers hits number 3 with the single Ain't No Sunshine from his debut album produced by Booker T. Jones. In March of 71, Carole King releases her first solo album and scores 2 number 1 singles, I Feel the Earth Move and It's Too Late. And UK progressive rockers Jethro Tull have a top 10 album on both sides of the Atlantic with Aqua Lungs.
Running down his nose. Greasy fingers smearing shabby clothes. Hey, Aqualung.
In April, the Temptations topped the charts with Just My Imagination, their third number one and their 13th top 10 single. Three Dog Night have their second number one single with Joy to the World. And the Rolling Stones album Sticky Fingers is released, including the number one single, Brown Sugar.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1971. Coming up. iHeartRadio goes one-on-one with Elton John to talk about the power of a song.
Take someone somewhere else. God knows I've been taken so many places by other writers, other performers. That is the power of the song and the power of the performer. Without music, my life would have been, it's been a constant, whether from 3 years old when I started to play, it's been a constant, whether I've been happy, sad, breaking records, being at my lowest ebb ever, I've always had music with me. And it's always got me through the good and the bad.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more Elton John and all your favorite artists.
Segment of D.N.D. without Dave Gasper, Doug Russell, and Nick Bruzewitz. As the Packers, it's a Victory Chicken Monday, of course, as the Packers, they come away with a 28-21 victory at home against the Chicago Bears, setting up the rematch in 12 days. Before that, of course, Green Bay has to travel to Denver to take on the upstart Broncos. I didn't think the Broncos were going to be as good as they've turned out to be so far this year. Nick, do you think that this is a Broncos team that is and it's steep in the season? I mean, we're 13 games in. Are they for, air quotes, for real?
Well, I think that they are good enough to cause some issues for teams in the postseason, but I would not perceive them to be a Super Bowl caliber team. I think their offense is just not good enough. And it's a Sean Payton team, which is like, I think the only reason that they're even close to viable is because he's getting as much as possible from a limited group.
Interesting. All right, let's hear from Packers quarterback Jordan Love. He met the media after yesterday's 28-21 victory that put the Packers from the number 6 seed in the playoffs to the number 2 seed in the playoffs, again, with 4 big games left to play. Here's QB1.
It's huge. It's a very big win. Obviously, just where we're at in the NFC North and the division that we have. And, I think we got some really good teams in this division. And obviously the Bears were on top. So we knew what it was coming into it, and it's a huge win. And obviously, we'll be seeing these guys again here in a couple weeks.
So what do you think of being in first place? We're getting pretty deep into the season now. What's that mean to you?
Yeah, it's huge. Obviously, we still got a couple weeks left here, but it's all about finishing there. You know what I mean? We're here. We've been here before, but we've got to finish it. So it doesn't really mean anything right now. But like I said, tonight was a huge win and going in the right direction going forward. But like I said, we still got a couple more weeks left here, so we just got to keep stacking.
The touchdown to Watson. Did you change the play there? They were in single high, right? Did you see something? Was that a can? What happened there?
Yeah, they went all out on that one. So they went all out pressure. We just changed the route with Christian, and he did a great job just kind of creating that separation and being able to go win across the field and just beat the guy with speed.
Jordan, on the deep ball to Bo, is he your first read on that, or is he further in the progression, or how did that go?
No, in that progression, he's alert. The big alert over the top, and obviously it just depends on what kind of coverage they're giving us. And when I got to my drop, I felt like they just dropped him. Perfect kind of route for the coverage that they're giving us. And obviously, Bo is another fast guy right there, and put it out there for him. I left it a little bit short, but I think Bo just being able to focus and concentrate. With Briscoe being able to, he almost got a hand on that one, but for Bo to be able to concentrate on that, finish it with a touchdown, was huge.
How much did the cold affect what you guys wanted to do?
It didn't affect us. It's something that it's tough. It's tough playing in the cold, and it's not fun. It's not ideal, but it is what it is. You got to embrace it and find ways to go out there and be your best, regardless of the circumstances. But no, I mean, we know what it is here in December. This is Green Bay football, and obviously, we just got to deal with it and find ways to go out there and win.
You have any sense how far Brisker was to break up that pass? Just from upstairs, looked like he was.
It was close. Yeah, it was close. It was close.
Jordan, what happened on the interception early, and how did you bounce back from that?
Yeah, just a bad read by me, bad decision. One that I kind of just forced in there, and the ball didn't come out of my hand the way it wanted to, and went straight to him. So it's just something that it's a bad decision, something that obviously it happened, and it's all about overcoming that. And we put our defense in a tough spot, and they're able to overcome that. And for us, it's just about moving on and playing that next play. But obviously you want to limit those and not have that situation right there, but just got to keep going.
You take us through what's going through your head during those final moments when they're driving down, and obviously Keyshawn with the pick at the end of it.
Yeah, obviously we take the lead right there, and you're just hoping the defense is able to get a stop and be able to stop their drive, and they put a couple of good plays together. We're moving it, and then like I said earlier, this is those moments. That's when you need your best players to go out there and make a big time play to be able to end it. And ball in the air, not knowing what's going on, and then seeing Keyshawn be able to go up there and get it was awesome. So to be able to end it on an interception and be able to get that turnover for the defense was huge.
Jordan, did you sense this one meant a lot to your head coach?
Yeah, I mean, it meant a lot to everybody. But, obviously, we've all known the comments that were out there. So it is what it is. But, this is a game that means a lot to everybody. It's an NFC North matchup. Obviously, Bears are number 1 seed. So it's a huge game. And like I said, we'll see these guys here in a couple weeks again.
I'm not sure how much you got to where you watch the Bears offense at all, but what do you think of matching up, going head-to-head with Caleb Williams, for the foreseeable future here?
Yeah, no, I was watching all their drives either on the Jumbotron or just, watch on the field. But, I've watched Caleb all season throughout some of the film. And, he does some really cool stuff on the football field. I think he's a really good player. And obviously, I think just his playmaking ability to be able to get out of some of those, there's sometimes where you think he's bottled up and about to be a sack, and he's able to get out and extend these plays. So he's a really good player. And obviously, I think he's going to keep getting better. And like you said, it'll be a good matchup going forward.
Jordan, you had the 3-and-out, you had the quick touchdown to Christian, and then you had the 3-and-out again. Could you sense that your defense was getting worn down, and how big was that go-ahead drive that it not only you got the lead, but it took as long as it did? Yeah, no, that was, we had, like you said, a couple kind of back-to-back drives coming out of that second half where we just weren't able to get going and stay on the field. And obviously that's disappointing. You want to be able to stay on the field, put some drives together. And like you said, I mean, for the defense, they're getting back out there pretty quickly and not being able to, kind of rest up. So, obviously we want to try and avoid these, but I think for the defense to be able to answer on some of those and, like you said, for us to be able to go back in that last drive, it's tied up and we've got to have a good drive, got to put up some points. And we went out there and did that. I think just speaks to everybody being able to stay poised and just have that mindset that we got to go out there and finish it. But obviously, it's disappointing to have a couple of those drives stall out quickly. Did you say anything differently to the guys when you went in the huddle for the first time at the start of that drive? What'd you tell them? I said, let's go win it. I mean, this is all we got right here. I think there was 8 minutes left. So it's just let's go win it. But I think everybody knows what time it is. They know what this drive means and what we got to go out there and do. So it's one of those things that what's understood doesn't have to be explained, and everybody has that mindset that we got to go answer.
You've won a lot of games at the end. Where does that mindset come from? Is it just that you've done it once, you can build on it, or does that start at training camp? Where does that come from? Yeah, it's just guys making plays. It's leaning on each other, having that confidence. But like you said, I mean, we practice situations 2-minute every day in practice, and I think that's the area that we've improved on a lot. But even just, I think it's just the mindset. Like you said, we've had a couple of drives where we've went down there and done what we needed to do, and I think that just keeps building confidence. But everybody in that huddle, nobody blinks, and we know we need to go accomplish.
I know it seems weird, but the Toyotathon run continues. What is it about playing at this time of the year that you succeed so well?
I mean, it's just everybody. I think these are the most important games of the season, with obviously a lot of things come down to it with playoff seeding and the division race. So this is the important football. And I think it's everybody. We keep stacking and keep getting better and better, I feel like, throughout the season and learn from, the mistakes we make and overcome some of the obstacles. But just keep stacking and trying to find ways to get better every day, I think is, what's something that's been helping us.
What did it mean to get Jaden back?
It was big time. He made some big time plays. I think there's still more out there that we could have got him involved in. But, he's just a playmaker. He had that very clutch catch on that last drive. And, he's another threat that, the defense has to be aware of. And we did some cool things, being able to get him on some rounds and some sweeps. But he's just a playmaker. He makes plays when the ball's coming his way.
The last time you played these guys here, obviously Christian blows out his ACL. Do you remember how you felt then for your friend? And what was it like to see him do what he did today?
Yeah. Going back to last year, I was sick and everybody was sick, end of the season to see him go down like that. Obviously he was battling through some other things throughout the season, but we were all sick and we knew what it meant to him. And obviously it's going to be a long recovery for him to be able to get back. And like I've mentioned before, we've all watched him, during rehab and things like that throughout the off season and training camp to be able to get back. And I think he's just playing at a really high level right now. And, we talked in the locker room after, but, this game meant a lot to him for that reason. And for him to be able to come out healthy and obviously have two big time touchdown catches and make some other big time plays. But, I think since he's been back, he's just been making play after play and been playing at a really high level. So just got to keep it up, but definitely meant a lot.
Is it possible that he's playing even better than he was before the injury?
Definitely. I definitely think so. He's making plays. It feels like every time the ball is coming his way. And, he's just, I think, keep elevating, getting better and better.
You obviously asked about the rivalry during the week, but you were around here at the start when you guys won every game by usually a bunch of points. I don't say it means more, but is it different now that you're good and they're good and the quarterback's going to be there for a while, you're going to be here for a while? It's like a real legitimate thing now.
Yeah, I think, like you mentioned, when I first got here, this is a completely different team. And I think they're playing some really good ball over there. So, like you said, I think just the situation we were in, meeting for the first time this late in the season. And obviously, like I said, them being number one in the North, this game meant a lot more than it did in other years. So, like I said, they're a good team. There's other good teams in the North, and we just got to keep finding ways to keep going out there and winning.
That's Jordan Love after yesterday's 28-21 win over the Chicago Bears. And the Packers now set up the rematch coming up 12 days from now. It's going to be an interesting finish to the season, Nick. And this is what you want, man. I mean, this is, we had somebody on the talking text, I think it was Rancorp, if I'm not mistaken, asking if we're making excuses for the Badgers. No, I don't think anybody's making excuses for the Badgers. If I had to give the Badgers a letter grade, it's either a D- or an F. I don't think they played very well, but at the end of the season, I think they saved themselves a little bit. I barely give them, if it's a D-, if that's a passing grade, all right, fine. I don't think they excelled this year, but that's not the kind of season that you want. This is the kind of season that you want your football team to have.
Absolutely. This is a team that I think has very high potential, and who knows, maybe they do make this run. Jordan Love is 27, everyone.
That's right. And that's when, let's see, it was Bart Starr who won his first NFL championship, not Super Bowl, first NFL championship, 27. Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers won their only Super Bowls when they were 27. Not saying, just saying. That's right. Jordan Love just turned 27. So, all right, one more segment to go before we turn things over to Drew and KB. Stay with us. It's D&D on the game.
Want to watch D.N.D? They're live on YouTube, Facebook, and X right now.
There you go.
There we go.
Just search 97.3 The Game. First place in the NFC North now belongs to your Green Bay Packers.
Here's the snap. Blitz on. They pick it up initially. Lofts the middle. Going for Watson.
Yes.
Got it. Touchdown. Green Bay Packers. Christian Watson took it away from Kevin Byard, and the Packers strike first. 23-yard touchdown pass.
This is a game that means a lot to everybody. It's an NFC North matchup. Obviously, Bears are number 1 seed, so it's a huge game. And like I said, we'll see these guys here in a couple weeks again.
Doug, Nick, and Dave are reacting to the win over the Bears all day on the game.
Now, a year in rock spotlight from 1976.
Bob Dylan releases his album Desire. It goes to number 1 in the States, thanks mainly to significant radio airplay for the single Hurricane.
Couldn't help but make me feel ashamed to live in a land where justice is a game.
Scottish sensations the Bay City Rollers finally score a hit in the U.S. with the number 1 single Saturday Night.
Saturday
In February, former Steve Miller Band member Boz Scaggs has a number 2 U.S. album with Silk Debris. Peter Frampton hits number 1 with his double live album Frampton Comes Alive. It would become the best-selling album of 1976.
I want you, show me the way every day. I want you, show me the way night and day.
In March, Irish hard rockers Thin Lizzy's 6th album, Jailbreak, scores them a number 12 hit single with The Boys Are Back in Town.
Boys are back in town again. Been hanging down at Dino's.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1976. Coming up.
iHeartRadio. Here are the top Prince songs you've thumbed up. Number 3, Little Red Corvette.
It was Saturday night. I guess that makes it all right. You say, baby, I ain't got enough gas. Oh, yeah. Little red Corvette. Baby, your mind's too fast. Yes, you are.
Number 2, 1999.
2000 party over. Oops, out of time. So tonight I'm gonna party like it's 1999.
Number 1, When Doves Cry.
Baby, just like my mother, she's never satisfied. Why do we scream at each other? This is what it sounds like when doves cry.
Hear more from Prince and similar artists now. Search for Prince on iHeartRadio. All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free.
Now, a year in rock spotlight. 1973.
Ain't it time we said goodbye?
The Rolling Stones are back on top with the number 1 album in the U.S. and the U.K. and a number 1 single, Angie.
Come on, baby.
Let's Get It On is a number 1 single and number 2 album for Marvin Gaye. Also in August of 73, Stevie Wonder is back with the number 4 album, Inner Visions. And Florida band Leonard Skinner released their debut album, had a top 20 hit with Freebird and tour opening for The Who.
Won't you fly,
Fast forward to October, where on their 8th album, the Steve Miller Band debut a smooth blues rock sound and score a number 1 hit with The Joker.
I'm a joker, I'm a smoker, I'm a midnight toker. I sure don't want to hurt no one.
Keep listening to iHeartRadio for more from 1973. Coming up.
I'm Jason Flom, founding board member of the Innocence Project, and my new podcast is Wrongful Conviction, available on iHeartRadio. On Wrongful Conviction, I interview a different exoneree every week and help them to tell their incredible stories of tragedy and triumph against impossible odds. You've got to hear it to believe it. Wrongful Conviction from iHeart Studios, available now on iHeartRadio.
Here on D.N.D. Things started out a little bit shaky with me behind the controls, but I think by and large, I didn't throw a no-hitter by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't know, maybe a 1 earned run on 6 hits, something like that, maybe.
You did well, man. Don't beat yourself up. It's a challenge, especially for those that are unfamiliar with that board. I know you've been on it on occasion, maybe, but it's a lot in our new studio there. And you did well enough. We didn't
Appreciate
swear,
that.
first and foremost. We didn't go over the air in a degree that would be an FCC violation.
I do
think
have the
that
dump
those
switch
are
over here. I
important.
do know how that works.
Well, that's good. I had an instance where I had to hit the dump button there, and I had no clue where it was, and I scrambled to find it within the 10 seconds, and I got it. But you did well, man.
Thank
You're
you.
fine.
Appreciate that. Well, we got 2 more days to do this before Dave gets back here and takes care of this end of the equation. The Packers, well, the Brewers, they're down. At least Matt Arnold is in Orlando with Dave, and we heard from Brewers general manager, president of baseball operations, Matt Arnold, earlier in the program. We will be anxious to see what else Dave gets while he's down there, who else he can run into and have a conversation with that he can bring to the program as well. But yeah, I mean, my takeaways from yesterday in the NFL, most specifically, because, you know, when you're at a game, and you know this, covering the Badgers as closely as you do, sometimes you don't pay as close of attention to the rest of, in your case, the Big Ten or college football, in my case, the rest of the National Football League. But you do, you know, when you're, you get home or you're in the press box and you're looking at the games, you kind of take a general gander at what's going on. The one thing that really shocked me, I guess, was Minnesota just clobbering the snot out of the Washington Commanders. And I know that the Commanders have had some injury issues at quarterback throughout the season, but man, I don't know how much of that game that you watched, but how good did J.J. McCarthy look? You know, putting up 31 points with that offense.
It's easy when the defense plays as well as it does to maybe play a more inspired, more consistent form of football. But I mean, JJ found himself into the end zone via his arm 3 times, and none of which were to Justin Jefferson. Jefferson continues to struggle his way through this season in this iteration of the Minnesota Vikings. 2 catches for 11 yards yesterday. So fantasy managers weren't in love with it from a Justin Jefferson perspective yesterday, but JJ played well enough, right? 16 passes completed on 23 attempts, 163 yards. So, I mean, he's not pushing the ball down the field by any means, but I don't know. I think this is going to be a season that you look back at as a Minnesota fan, if there are Minnesota fans listening, and say, gosh, if we could have just figured some of this out quicker, wouldn't have been a lost year.
Coming up on tomorrow's show, Patrick Herb will join us also at some point this week. Brandon Cristal will join us. He'll be our eye on the enemy. He's been covering the Denver Broncos for a number of years for a couple of different outlets out there. So we will check in with him. By the way, this week is when, at least in my dad's household, my dad's a Packers fan, but his brother, my Uncle Ken, huge Broncos fan. So
wow,
there will be a squaring off there, if you will. So
it's interesting. You know, I don't know any Broncos fans around here.
Well, Uncle Ken can they can kind of carry the load for everybody then, right?
Yeah, it's just a unique team to be a fan of. I mean,
well, it's a regional team though too, because if you look at the map, it's like Denver's in the middle, like geographically, of a lot of different places. And Uncle Ken lives in Farmington, New Mexico.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's your team there.
And he lived in Colorado for a long time too. So there's that.
You wouldn't pick the Cardinals if you didn't have to, so might as well.
I mean, at least the Broncos have some sort of history in the not that distant feud. I mean, the Cardinals have won 2 NFL championships, and I think they were both in either the 30s or 40s or something like that.
Makes for an awkward 1998 Super Bowl. Super Bowl 32, is that in 98 technically?
That would have been 1998. You are correct. Good math.
Awkward.
Good math.
Pops and him.
You know, I don't think it was too serious for either one of them, but I know that Uncle Ken got bragging rights for a while. That was fun, or at least for him. Wasn't so much for me, but they will.
I bet
2 teams will meet again on Sunday. Maybe we'll have some remembrances of Super Bowl 32, as I contend the worst loss in Packers history, because it's the only Super Bowl they've ever lost. All right, Nick, good job. We made it through, and we will do it again in 20 hours. We'll shower up and try to do better tomorrow.
Well, yeah, let's do it. Feeling good. Tuesdays. I love Tuesdays.
Drew and KB are next. We'll see you tomorrow right here on the Game Radio Network.
We've come, but still I can't remember anything.